Oh baby, baby, today is a Sunday fun day. Freaking, I know Comatron's ready for Hoffman. Oh yeah, dude, today's stream is gonna be nuts. I'm so excited. This is the stream I've been wanting for so many years now, since the 90s. Since I heard my first Hoffman tune back in the 90s, man, I've been waiting for this day. I am so excited. Cobrian, the early squad, Brother Bill is here. What is up, my dude? Oh, dude, Cobrian, we can make that happen. Hit me up offline, my man. Jost80, what is up? O-Rom and Milo loves chocolate. Amiga Bill VIPs in the house. What is up, guys? Air Yuri in the hot tub in the chat. Michael Jensen, Sigurborn throwing down some amazing emojis there. Sigurborn rocking it out on Twitch. I'm loving your streams. The Purple Haze Maker is here. TMBTH. The only question is how much fun you're gonna have today. Brother Bill, thank you for gifting the sub to Milo Loves Chocolate. That is awesome. Jost80 with the Amiga Love. Playavelli, thank you so much for the subscription, dude. That is amazing, Playa. Playa, thank you so much for all the support. Happy Sunday to you, Playavelli. Oh, baby, I'm so psyched. SR Baker, Amiga Bill Grill Day in the full effect. I saw him firing up that grill, firing up the stereo system. Sigurborn with the 69 bitty bits. Thank you, Sigurborn. Hucky28, what is up? Oh, yeah. Oh, we got sound, baby, Sigurd. We got sound. What's up, Knee-High Spy? How's it going? Great. No sounds. What? No sound. What? There's sound. There's sound. Sound check 1 2. I hear sound. You guys don't hear sound? Refresh. Refresh. There's sound, right? I hear sound. Jost80, thank you for the 64 bits. You guys were freaking me out there with the no sound. The no sound. You guys are crazy. I tell you what. I tell you all what. You better hope you have sound, because I suggest you take that volume control and turn it all the way to the right. We are gonna get fired up for freaking Hoffman today. Focus Design, Storm Rider, first place, Data Storm 2017, music by Hoffman. Let's freaking go.
H0ffman bringing the beat, kicking the feet, surfing on the waves of a Demoscene. Booster, he knows the code, bat you into bits, into ones and all. You got Mal mix with the mouse clicks, fixing up the graphics on which the sound sits. Focus at the start and end of this design, and but for us as the last 3 times.
Oh yeah, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for an awesome stream today? That was Storm Rider, music by H0ffman, first place, Data Storm 2017. The question is, can you hear the vinyl? Now, normally we got the mods down there. Today we are spinning some vinyl. We got the H0ffman Cave Sessions vinyl playing today. H0ffman is coming on the stream very, very shortly. I just want to say, thanks to everyone. Say hello to everyone. Playavelli. Yo, oh, wow. Let me catch up on what's going on here. Mamma mia. Demon versus Wolf. Thank you so much for the follow. Brother Bill, thank you for gifting the sub to Milo Loves Chocolate, who's also in the Amiga Bill VIP Club. Playavelli, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate you very, very much. I hope the sound's good. Craziness. There we go. Okay, that sounds better. Now I can hear myself. Oram, thank you so much for the subscription. Oram, I appreciate you so much. You don't just subscribe here, you're also in the VIP Club. That is amazing. Andy Amiga 7, thank you for subscribing. Andy Amiga 7, WOG member extraordinaire. Brother Bill, thank you for gifting the sub to Sin Lao. Sigurborn, thank you for the 69 biddies. Oram, thank you for cheering 1,500 bits. Oram, that is nuts, bro. Oram, you're the man. Thank you so much, Oram. Playavelli, thank you for the subscription, Playa. You rock. Jost80, thank you for cheering 64 bits. Felice Maggie, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Matt Bowden, thank you for the follow. Yeah, drop it, Adrock. Matt, thank you so much for the follow. Poetic Android, thank you so much for subscription, Poetic Android. You're amazing. Adventure Josh, thank you for the 100 bits. Wow. That is an awesome way to start a stream. So I've never streamed from vinyl before. I'm so excited. This is just awesome. Amiga 1200 Gamer says Iridium now has leaderboards on stream. The challenge is on. Dude, right on, Amiga 1200 Gamer. I need to get on that. Savannah, thank you so much for the follow. If you are new to my streams, Vector Funk, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate that, Vector Funk. If you're new to my streams, I'm Bill. I stream here every Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 6 p.m. UTC, 7 p.m. in the UK, 8 p.m. in Central Europe. I stream Amiga stuff, man. I've been president of Westchester Amiga User Group since 1988. We never stop meeting. We never will. I also have a YouTube channel I do with my buddy Anthony called The Guru Meditation, and we're here today, man. I usually start off all my streams with a little Amiga news. I'm going to keep that very minimal because the main man, our main man, the MVP of the stream is waiting in the wings. DJ H0ffman is ready to go. He's going to take us through this vinyl record. We're going to check out some classic H0ffman stuff. We're going to check out all kinds. We're going to check out tunes. We're going to check out demos. It's going to be amazing. This is the 15. It's the SP15. Milo Loves Chocolate, the SP15. I hope y'all can hear me all right. I hate it when my Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite H0ffman tunes. I hate it when my mixer just goes kaput. Fury, what is up, Fury? I'm sorry if I missed, if anyone said hello and I missed you. Torque Live, what is up? Yeah, barbecue. Yeah, H0ffman will DJ a barbecue next year in Amiga 7. I love it. Hey, what's up, Amiga Mark? I think, Modern Vintage Gamer, thank you so much for a subscription. Dude, MVG, 34 months, that is crazy, dude. Thank you, MVG. MVG is the MVP. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you, everyone, for all your support. Everyone who subscribes to me and is one of my patrons, you all get the Amiga Bill goodie bag after every stream. This goodie bag is going to be loaded with stuff. You're going to want this goodie bag. I hope every way sounds as good on vinyl to you as it does to me. Oh my god, so good. Smash 80, every way, it might be my favorite too. Amiga Dad, what is up? Amiga Dad gave me this Techniques turntable. It was a turntable in the radio station at Westchester Community College. When they went digital, they were throwing their turntables out, and Amiga Dad grabbed the Techniques, I grabbed the Techniques, and they live on. These babies are never going to the garbage. Craziness, guys. I need to pull up my notes here. I'm gonna make this new section super short. I just want to, because we got H0ffman. I know y'all hear H0ffman, not the news. I just have like one bit of news that was like really exciting for me. Amiga Dad with the Amiga Dad figured out how to subscribe. Amiga Dad, thank you, Dad. Oh wait. Oh, Brother Bill subs. Thank you, Brother Bill, for gifting the sub to Amiga Dad. Amiga Dad is now watching ad-free, and he gets the Amiga Bill goodie bag too. Amiga Dad used to drive me to Westchester Amiga User Group meetings back in the day because I took over when I was 15 years old before I had a driver's license. Alright, so here's just one really quick bit of Amiga news I want to share with you. Let me see, I got so many things here. This was really exciting. I uploaded a video to YouTube this week. It was a rare recording of J Minor. It was recorded at AMI Expo 1990. Me and Amiga Dad were there. We saw this speech live. After J Minor gave his keynote speech about, it's called the Amiga from the Beginning, we bought a tape of it because they made tapes of it. You know, they recorded tapes of it, and then you could buy the tape after the keynote speech. Amiga Dad bought the tape. We put it in the garage, and we forgot we even owned it. Cut to 3 weeks ago. We found the tape. I found this audio tape, and I'm like, what's this? Amiga from the Beginning. This might be cool. I popped it in, and I was like, no way. This is the keynote speech from J Minor 1990. This needs, you know, we need to get this out to the Amiga community. This needs to be heard. This is the video right here. J Minor History of the Amiga. It's really called Amiga from the Beginning, but I put History of the Amiga for, you know, YouTube SEO. So yeah, and here's the article in Forbes magazine. I'm super excited about it. It was written about in Forbes magazine. Guru video in Forbes. I'll just do that. I'll do that. Go check it out. This is the video here. You can see Amiga Dad's hands are in the video, which is
trading offer in 2000.
I can't go full screen with it.
There are enough 2000s out there that I'm sure people will continue to write their software.
I guess when it's embedded, I can't go full screen, but you know, the whole video starts out with Amiga Dad's hands. You know, we did it. The originals are on audio cassette tapes, and we didn't have a good-looking cassette player, so I was like, Dad, let's hook it up to the quarter-inch and make it look cool, because you know, YouTube is a visual medium as well as an audio medium. So we hooked it up with the quarter-inch and made a sweet little video out of it. Click on the YouTube name. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's the beginning of the video right there. I should learn how to use YouTube one of these days. Brother Bill and Amiga Dad have the same teacher. They both went to Stepanak High School. So I'm going to drop the link to this video directly into the chat for y'all. There you go. I highly encourage you to go watch the video. It's a good one. I appreciate that, Brother Bill. Awesome. Enjoy that video. Let me close this. Let me close this. There's other stuff. There's other stuff going on in the Amiga community, but I know you're all here to see my very special guest. He is one of the people in the Amiga community that inspires me. Like, I have his music on an SD card in my car, and I blast it at like 100% volume as I'm flying down the street, as I'm commuting to work. I get fired up. I throw on some H0ffman. It gets me so in the mood. Like, whatever I'm gonna go do, I'm gonna go crush it, because H0ffman gets me so fired up. I've been listening to his music since the 1990s. He's like evolved into like this incredible demo scener. Like, he also does coding. I don't even know how he does it all, and that's what we're gonna find out today. Without further ado, I'm gonna unmute him, and I would like to give a very warm welcome to one of the most incredible people in the Amiga community, DJ H0ffman. There he is. What's up, H0ffman?
Hi, how you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you? Thank you so much for coming on the stream today, man. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, good to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, Amiga Mark, you're welcome. Yeah, enjoy that video. Oh, you guys have streamed it a bunch of times. That is awesome, dude. What's up, Bobby Zeal? You're awesome, Brother Bill. No, Pixels at Dawn. No, not at all. H0ffman, welcome to the stream, man. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you on. I am so excited. You know, of course, the main thing we're going to talk about today, well, we'll see how it goes. But the main thing we're going to talk about today, you know, or at least the first thing, is this incredible piece of vinyl that I have in my hand, and I can switch over to this screen here, and you can see I've got it playing right now. This is H0ffman The Cave Sessions. It is a project that you did with Retro Man Cave. It is a double edition vinyl set. It is incredible. I am super lucky. Let me go through the overhead cam here. I want to show everyone something really special. I have promo copy number 2. I'm overwhelmed and super honored to have this copy. This record is just amazing. I mean, I love my dad is in the stream, in the chat, and he's a huge vinyl collector. I think you might have seen some pictures I sent you, and we just love vinyl. We love vinyl so much. So like when my favorite Amiga musician comes out with Amiga music on vinyl, it's like, what could be better, man? Thank you so much for coming on today, man. I appreciate it. Hoffman, for those of you who are watching who might not know who Hoffman is, why don't you give us just a little bit of intro, Hoffman? Tell them who you are.
Well, my name's Ian. I'm from a sleepy little town called Salisbury. You probably didn't hear about it until a couple of Russians came and visited us recently.
Oh. I hope they were invited.
Yeah. So I suppose trying to condense it down, I guess. I was a child of the microcomputer era. So I cut my teeth on ZX Spectrums and Commodore 64s, and obviously, progressed into the Amiga. I've always had a love for music, electronic, and all sorts. And that's just been my kind of driving passion, whether it's, and also DJing as well. That's something that I'm really have always been into as well. And I do lots of Demoscene stuff. So I'm sure a lot of your viewers will know what the Demoscene is because they've seen a lot of the productions. But it's something that I've been involved in on and off since the very early 90s. So yeah, that's I think that's me.
I love it. That's really, really cool. And it's a very interesting. I'm so lucky because the reason why I stream here every Sunday is because I have so many incredible people that show up for the streams, and it really is like hanging out with my friends. And I have such a mix of people. Like I have people who know, like, of course they know what the Demoscene is. They know like way more about Amiga than I do. But then we also have other people who are like new to Amiga. They're just getting into it. Maybe they've just gotten like an emulator. They've heard about Amigas. I have some younger people here who I met in other streams, and they're like, oh, we've heard about this Amiga. We want to check it out. So it's a really wide range of people. So I'm excited to show some people what the Demoscene is. I describe it as it's almost in some ways like music videos on your vintage computer or on your modern computer. They are.
Yeah.
Like, is that how you would describe it?
Yeah. I think the key is that it's real time. So it's software running on a computer system of any kind, whether it be a Commodore 64, an Amiga, a PC, a washing machine controller, a Raspberry Pi. If someone with enough ingenuity can make it produce a demo, it will. I think the one of the most interesting platforms I saw recently was a Soviet era phone system that had a tiny little phone display on it, like from the late 70s, early 80s, and they produced a demo on it. It was the craziest thing I've seen.
That is amazing. If you've never seen a demo before, we're gonna play a bunch of them today. And the other thing about demos, like you said, they're actually computer programs. It's not so much animation. It's actually code that is generating the sound, code that's generating the images. But for me, the key thing about the Demoscene is like it takes these machines and like pushes them to new heights. Like you end up making them do things that you never imagined they can do. Like it's the most brilliant coders, the most brilliant graphic artists, and the most brilliant musicians all coming together to make this one incredible piece of art. And that's what the Demoscene is to me.
Yeah. I think the art aspect is something that I feel really strongly about. Anyways, you do get some demos that are very technically driven, but when you get that beautiful combination of where it's technically impressive, but it's also artistically kind of evocative and interesting. That's what that's kind of where it really when it comes together really well, when you get that kind of that join up there.
I can't wait to talk about that because someone Smash A just said I can't understand how these demos are done in 64K. We have some demos that or at least a demo I'm going to show you today that's 1K. That it just blows my mind. But the first thing, once we're playing the record here, I just want to I want to talk about this album just a little bit. So this was the whole motivating force behind the stream. Like I said, I've been a fan of yours since the 90s. But when I saw you on Retro Man Cave, you were doing on his awesome YouTube channel. Retro Man Cave is the best. He was actually going to be here today, but he had some plans changing. But it's cool. Like we'll have him on again another time. One of the best guys, Retro Man Cave on YouTube. You and him got together and you did a rave in the cave. And you had a setup where you had two Amiga. Was it the 600s that you had or 1200s?
I've moved to 600s recently. Yeah.
So what Hoffman did is he put two Amiga 600s together, and he used a software called PT1210, and he was doing a live DJ mix using only Amigas, like not vinyl. He was using two Amigas, and the Rave in the Cave was just awesome. And tell me, like, was the Rave in the Cave like the beginning of this album?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I suppose that it's kind of written in the notes on the album. You'll notice that Rory gets a shout for his super sleuth thing. It's like so you remember the catfishing incident that Neil had on his channel, where he was interviewed the wrong Echo.
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, I remember that. So it turns out that Rory, who's a guy that I'm really good friends with in the demo scene, actually worked with the real Echo. And was a fan of Neil's channel. So the first thing he did when he saw the interview was like, that's not the right guy. So off of the back of that, those two got chatting, and he's like, oh, well, thanks for putting me this out. And it's like, oh, by the way, I know Ian. He does like all this demo scene stuff and Amiga stuff. Maybe we could just pop down or whatever. And then that's when the Rave in the Cave kind of came about. So for that, I thought, seeing as I'd done I think a stream before on Twitch, doing Amiga DJ sets, but for that I thought I would do something where I would just play just my own tunes, just as because I'm on Neil's channel, we'll do a bit of a showcase, and then I think it was about a month into lockdown, Neil messaged me saying, I've got this idea. Why don't we release a record? And I was like, well, yeah, this sounds like a laugh. And that's kind of where it all came from.
That's awesome. I'm right now. I don't know if you can see the stream, but I'm actually playing a clip from the Rave in the Cave from Retro Man Cave's channel, and I can see you got two 1200s there. You've got an analog mixer, and and you've got some monitors as well. I want to talk about this was the impetus for the vinyl. It's crazy that he had someone on the stream who was pretending to be someone else. That's crazy. but right now up on the screen I see the two 600s and the monitors and this mixer. Can you just tell us what's going on here?
So the PT1210 software, basically it'll load a Pro Tracker file, and it will give you basically the same functions that you would on like a CDJ or a digital DJ unit or Tract or whatever, where you can change the pitch of the music and it changes the pitch of all the sounds that are playing. So it basically gives you all of the functionality that you would get in like proper DJ equipment. So you basically put that on one Amiga, and then you put it on another Amiga, which means that you can play two tunes and then obviously beat match them to make them. It just turns it into basically two Amigas into a standard DJ system, and that's basically what the software does. So the analog mixer in the middle is the same as if you're a DJ back in the 90s or even the early 2000s, where the only way you could do a DJ set was if you had a pair of Technics and a mixer in the middle. It's basically the same setup, except the turntables are replaced with two Amigas.
That is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, no, it's two 600. Sorry, I misspoke there, guys. It's like 1,000 degrees in my office, and my brain goes wacky sometimes. Cringe Forest, thank you so much for subscription. Cringe Forest, you're awesome. I appreciate you so much. I hope all's well. And Dopefish, thank you for the follow. So this Rave in the Cave looks absolutely amazing. Did you make the PT1210 software, Hoffman? I know there's a few people involved in it. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So that started off as a post on a forum that Akira made, asking whether something in principle could be done. So I saw this post and then went, oh well, I was dabbling in quite a lot of Amiga code at the time anyway. So I thought, well, let's just I know how the Pro Tracker replay code works. I'll give this a go and see if what he's saying is physically possible. And then I made just like a really basic, just like just a screen of text with some values on it, just as a proof of concept. And as soon as the pitch shifting was implemented, it was functional. Like you could actually, I mean, I did a DJ set at Sundown, I think it was, quite a few years ago now, where I was using the prototype version with just text, and it worked fine. It worked really well. So it kind of born out of that. After the prototype was done, Akira drew up all the graphics and the user interface for it. So we implemented that all in Amiga assembly, which looking back is probably a bad idea. And since then, you mentioned Dopefish, who's just joined us on the chat. He's come on board in the last year or so to basically help us shift that from Amiga assembly to C. And doing so hasn't actually lost any performance. In fact, if anything, we've gained performance. And that version we're still working hard on, when we get time to do so. So that will be coming out. But so it's effectively we're the three people that work on it. So it's Akira, Dopefish, and myself.
It's amazing stuff, dude. First, just DJing in general is very mysterious to me. Even people who did did it with the vinyl, people who do it today, with USB sticks. It's kind of it's weird. It's magical. I love it. It's amazing how DJs take songs and remix them into something completely new. I can't really wrap my head around it because it's almost like being like an editor and then taking a movie and remaking your own movie out of a movie. I feel like maybe that's what it's like. I don't know, but I love DJs. I'm a huge electronic music fan, and this is just super super cool. If anyone has a question for Hoffman, please do at Amiga Bill in the chat so I can see it. Adventure Joss is asking, once we're on the topic, we gotta get to the vinyl. But were there any tricks to getting the mods on scale and on pitch and speed smoothly and matching when you were making the PT1210, or was that easy?
It's that actually comes down to using it. So it's there's a value that gets put into the Amiga hardware registers to say this is the pitch that we want to play it at. So the key is effectively going. So you have also a BPM value. So the trick was just to find the right formula or the right calculation to say the BPM's here, but you're actually playing it this fast. So in actual fact, we've got a percentage difference of X. So if we take the value or the frequency that any sound is playing and then multiply that by X, then everything stays at the same speed. And that was it. That was the defining moment of the software. Once that was cracked, the rest of it was all just fluff that needed to be done.
Beautiful. I love it. Wow, so many awesome questions. Brother Bill, if you Brother Bill is my mod. He's amazing. He's the brother of my best bud Anthony. If you can field some of these questions, I'm just afraid I might lose them, Brother Bill. If there's a way you could capture some of them, and if I don't get to them, I'll get back to them. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to I would love to. Akira actually lives near me, and we talked about doing a live stream together, like a PT1210 live stream. Physically, you guys did it, in person, which would be rad. So I would love to do that. But let's talk about the vinyl one more time. I gotta switch back. I got so many setups here. Oh, it's upside down. Who made the cover for this beautiful? I see Milo was asking who made the cover for this beautiful album. The artwork's amazing.
That was Neil. Neil did all the graphic design work. The only input I had on it was if you look really closely, you'll see that there's lots of pattern information kind of scribed on there.
Yeah, I'm to my overhead camera.
That was the only input I had.
That's amazing. So Neil is Retro Man Cave, and that he's quite the artist because this is a gorgeous. The artwork is really really amazing. It's and the quality of the print is amazing. The quality of the print, the quality of the cover is great. I love the little Retro Man Cave logo there, and the quality of the vinyl is just awesome. I'll take this. I'll take out. Amazing. Yeah, it's a double disc set. And I love the red vinyl. As you can tell, I don't know if you can see my chair. My chair is red and black. It's one of my favorite color combos. Not only is it the color of the Guru Meditation, but there's something about red and black I love. But yeah, it is just amazing. I love it. And so everything we're hearing. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say the thing that really struck me was when the first test pressings arrived. I put it on the turntable. I mean, just to let everyone know, we recorded everything directly off the Amiga 600s you actually see in that video. So they weren't rendered in something else or done in software or whatever. They're all taken straight from an Amiga to get because obviously the analog digital converter you've got in there has certain characteristics, so you want to kind of capture that. But when you combine that with the vinyl pressing, I was just absolutely blown away at how warm everything sounded afterwards. Like I put the first test pressing on and I played it through my speakers, I was just absolutely blown away by how well it had come out.
Oh, it's amazing. I want to ask you about that. So you take the output, like the regular like stereo analog output of the Amiga 600 with your mod file, and then and then how does it go from that to vinyl?
So the first thing we do is obviously Amiga stereo is not the one, because it's 2 channels left, 2 channels right. It really doesn't work with all the music that I write. I always write it to be intentionally in mono. So I hooked that up. Obviously, I've got this, as you can see in here, a home studio. So I hooked it up through my system and then recorded all the tracks directly off the Amiga into a PC at like 24-bit, 44 kilohertz, whatever. And then we did apply just a little bit of EQ just to like bump out the bass a little more, and then bump out the top end, because you do lose a bit of that. So there's like that little. But in terms of pre-processing before it went to the pressing plant, that was pretty much it. They did do their own mastering in-house, which ensures that everything's as loud as it can be within the vinyl recording. But other than that was pretty much it. It was just record, small piece of EQ, and then straight to the vinyl presser.
So yes, got it. So it ends up as a WAV file on a PC, and then that goes to the presser. That's awesome. That is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Hoffman, I think the original launch was about 2 weeks ago, right? And how many were in the original pressing of this album?
It was 250.
250. Okay. Now I think you've got some pretty exciting news to share with us here. Can you give us an update on the status of your albums?
So if you missed it, the good news is we are doing a repressing, another 250, and that I think we have a link.
I've got it.
So you can,
I've got it, baby. Either in the chat you do !! vinyl or !! the cave sessions, and it'll give you the link. So ! VINYL. Boom, and that's the link to where you can purchase it. Now, Neil from Retro Man Cave told me that there's, they're going to go to print in, I guess, it's several weeks from now. So he's saying that he doesn't actually have the vinyl in hand at this moment. You're going to do the pressing, so consider this, if you order it like today, like right now, consider it like a pre-order, but there'll be another 250 on the way. That is exciting news. I love it. It's so cool. Congratulations.
First time around, you still got a chance to grab one.
That is just it's a great, not only like does it actually sound great, but it's a great collector's item as well. Wow, we got so many great questions here for you. I'm thinking maybe, do you want to, like, we're talking about the quality of the vinyl and everything, do you want to like maybe just listen to a track? Do you have a favorite track you'd like people to hear?
Probably Professional Tracker, seeing as you started with Storm Rider, and that's got my boy Day Tripper on it. If we're gonna put one on, that's the one.
All right, let's do it. So that is the first song on side 3, because side B is just finishing up right now. We'll put that one on. We'll listen to it, and I'm gonna try and get the questions together. I'll ask you the questions, and then I want to start talking about some of your early Amiga stuff. I've got a bunch of early Hoffman queued up and ready to go. We're gonna get a little Hoffman retrospective today. It's gonna be so much fun. Thanks everyone for hanging out. NE7, thank you so much for the follow, NE7. I appreciate that. I'm gonna change the disc here. I'm gonna let's see. Do I have the technology here? Oh, there. That's my overhead camera. I made a lot of profiles for you here today. So I love my turntable so much. I just went full screen with it. I'm gonna put on side C. This one's done. I'm gonna carefully do this. Beautiful. So what I'll do here, guys, is we'll just listen to this track, and I'll listen to it nice and loud, and I'll mute myself and Ian so you can just hear the quality of the vinyl. It's gonna be great. My hands are so shaky because I drink so much coffee. Here we go. So this is Professional Tracker featuring Day Tripper.
Progressive pattern hacker, 31 samples of dirty subject matter. We got that Amiga vision. Better bring your homework, boy, cause this is revision. Professional tracker, progressive pattern hacker, 31 samples of dirty subject matter. We got that Amiga vision. Better bring your homework, boy, cause this is revision. Rocking all night to that pattern skank, digging deep in the sample bank. Can't leave nothing blank. Trying for the tracks like a battle tank. Roll tracking in our sleep like androids counting. 64 electric sheep. You can find us in the demo scene, proud and raw. Surrounded by Amigas and 64s. 1-bit, 2-bit, 3-bit more. 7-bit, 8-bit, no more. We be making a play with AV projects at 64K. Made aim to win the day. We're chopping, head bobbing, rag 'em up, never stopping, track smashing, noise catching, get the beat cracking. One more thing left before you go cracker. To the hackers, good visions of pro trackers. Professional tracker, progressive pattern hacker, 31 samples of dirty subject matter. We got that Amiga vision. Better bring your homework, boy, cause this is revision. Professional tracker, progressive pattern hacker, 31 samples of dirty subject matter. We got that Amiga vision. Better bring your homework, boy, cause this is revision. Hoffman breaking up the tracks with Day Tripper, filling in the gaps. Listen up, here's a fact. The demo scene ain't dead. It's just you can't read the code. Better get it in your head before the deadline's closed. Text the form. The fact of the matter is you'll batter you and stop day before you were born. So listen up before you go crackers. Shout out to the hackers, good visions of pro trackers.
Dude, that was amazing, Hoffman, amazing stuff. It sounds so good, dude. It sounds so good. I'm gonna turn down for the second track a little bit. Hopefully it'll still be on in the background. I haven't mixed vinyl on my stream yet, so I have no idea how it sounds. Yo, Aztalk Dog, what's up, buddy? So we got some great questions already. I'll field a couple questions and then we'll keep moving forward. Hoffman, when we find the Brother Bill. Oh yeah, so so Milo Loves Chocolate, Amiga Bill VIP there, newest Amiga Bill VIP. Milo, what's up, dude? He's asking, do you make your mods from scratch, or do you work in another drawer and collect samples, or is your music done from scratch?
Yeah, well, it depends. If it's if it's a mod that uses samples, then yeah, the general idea will be sketched out in some modern software first, using VSTs, synths, samples, all that kind of stuff. But it does quite quickly move into the tracker because you can't. Obviously, you're quite limited within Pro Tracker, so you can't be going off and adding loads and loads and loads of layers because
Right.
you're going to end up throwing most of it away otherwise. But yeah, the basis, just because it's in terms of workflow, it's the quickest way to try things out, because you've obviously got a sample conversion that you need to do within that process. So once you've got a sound, you then need to convert it and then put it into Pro Tracker and then use it there. So you know, in the early stages of any music, you don't want to be having something that slows down that workflow. Otherwise, you know, you lose the flow on your creativity. But on the flip side of that, NE7 will know a lot about this. Is you can write chip tunes in Pro Tracker. Now, if you know what a chip tune is, it's something that's basically built out of fairly basic fundamental waveforms. At which point, there's usually not a lot of point in doing the starting work because you're not going to be putting those samples into the tune. You're just going to be using very small basic waveforms. So when you're doing stuff like that, it's best just to go straight into Pro Tracker, throw a few samples in because that's all you're going to be able to use anyway, and then just, you know, carry on from there. So it kind of it depends on, you know, what your end result is going to be, how big it's going to be, whether you're going for that chip tune kind of thing or something a bit bigger. So yeah, it changes. Yeah, I suppose that process also changes a bit more when you get onto doing stuff for 64K intros, but I guess we'll get onto that kind of stuff a bit later.
Yeah, that part baffles my mind. How you take these samples and compress them down to like fit, you know, on an Amiga file, you know, with 4 channels, 4-channel Paula. It blows my mind. I don't know how you guys do it. We'll get into that in the future, you know, in a little while as well. I would love to. We could do like a whole stream just, I think, on the tech of music production. I had Comatron on a few months ago, and he was amazing. He took me through. I never used Pro Tracker before, but he gave me the basics of it, and it was amazing. And once you load the samples in, and you could just use all the hotkeys, it really felt like I was playing an instrument. It was incredible. And when you get those samples, do you use something, you know, like Perfect Sound on the Amiga, like a sampler on the Amiga, to actually capture them?
No. So what I do is I actually convert them using SOX. SOX. Just it's a command line audio file converter. So that's the way you'll get the best quality out of it. If it goes through a sampler, you will you will get some artifacts and some grit. My process is quite primarily in an emulator. Which means that the process of getting the samples into the music is really quick, which again, you know, cuts down that workflow. For that, it's a command line tool, but I wrote this really basic UI for it, so I can just select which note I want the sample to go to from 44 kilohertz down to whatever it needs to, and then so it's got drag and drop, so I can just quickly change samples in and out quite easily. There's another one by Cyphus, aka Echo Level, called Amiga PAL, which is a bit more full-featured. You can drag and drop, and you can apply filters and stuff. And it's got like a waveform display. That's really quite easy to use. So, you know, if you're wanting to make music for the Amiga, that's a good way of doing it. Another thing you can also use is there's a Pro Tracker clone for Windows. I don't know if you've seen that, by 8-Bit Bubsy, which is without a shadow of a doubt the tightest, most accurate Amiga mod player you can get within a modern computer environment on Mac, PC, and Linux. I think you can run it on, and it's really solid. So you can use that to write music with, and you can just do it all in the PC without emulators, and then you'll get a perfectly working mod file that you can use on the Amiga with no problem.
That's amazing. So, and because I mean, back in the day, you didn't have emulators, and you didn't have, I don't know, did you use the PC back then? That's why I was asking if you used Amiga samplers, you know, back in the 90s.
No, but back in the 90s, that's where you had to have a keen ear. It's about the best way I can describe it. If you're listening to a piece of music and you go, and you just hear that 1.5 second where the beat is on its own, you're like, right, I need to get a copy of that song, and then I will sample it into my Amiga.
Wow.
So yes, it's writing music back then really turned you into a bit of a sample hunter. Now, I mean, it's not so much for me these days because the technology we've got in house, on computers is just it's like entire massive banks of synthesizers at your fingertips. But back then, synthesizers were expensive, and I was very young.
Sure.
So it's not the kind of thing that we had easy access to. So we'd hear a sound on a record, and we'd have to go and buy that record from the local record shop, and then sample it into our Amiga.
Wow.
The other thing that we did a lot of, which was stealing modules from other places and then ripping the samples that we wanted out of them. A little thing that I think I was speaking to Cyphers about this, and E7 as well, as a classic thing that people used to do was you'd take somebody else's Pro Tracker module and you'd clear all the song data and then just write another tune with all of their samples.
But was that something that they were cool with, or they're just like, oh man, this guy just totally like ripped me off?
It's one of those grey areas.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, fair enough. I suppose if you asked beforehand.
Definitely not the coolest thing to do, but if the tune that resulted out of it was good, then then it's fine.
That's awesome. Pixels at Dawn Gaming was asking about your Amiga 600s and the PT1210 setup. Are they stock, or did you do any special mods to them?
There's only two. Well, actually, no, three. Obviously, there's I've actually got SD card readers as IDE devices inside them, just because SD cards are much easier to get your hands on. The other thing is that they both have a 1 meg expansion, chip RAM expansion. That's the key point, because that's sample memory. Fast RAM, well, it'll help out a little bit. If you have a big mod that's over a meg of samples, then it's it's not going to load. The other thing that I did to both of them is there's two resistors under the board, C321 and C331, which should be removed from every 600 in existence. It makes them quieter, but what it does is it basically disables the onboard filter completely. So you get all of the top end that's missing. So that's the three things that I've done to my 600s. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's really important. I can't stress enough how the difference is night and it is the difference between removing those resistors from the bottom is night and day on the 600. It is unbelievable. If you put them side by side and put them play the same tune and put them both through your mixing desk, you'd be like, what? Why does one sound like it's coming through a sheet of cloth?
Wow, that's incredible. I never heard of that mod before. That's amazing. Now, is that a mod you should do on every 600 regardless of what you're doing, or just you the way you're using it in that setup?
I personally, if you want the sound, it's the top end of the sound that is really muffled on a 600. And if you're using it in isolation, you probably won't notice. But if you did a side-by-side comparison between like a stock 1200, you can really notice the difference. And I spotted this when I was trying to do a DJ set once. With an Amiga 600 and an Amiga 1200, and I put them side by side, and I was just like, you can't, like, if I played the same tune on both, you could just hear that it's like someone had taken the treble and just moved it down to virtually nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. But as I said, if you're just using your 600 in isolation, it's probably not that big a deal. You may not notice it, but the keen ear for music, it's essential for me.
That's awesome. It's amazing to me, like how you're. I want to get to this too. You're an amazing musician, but you're also amazing with the tech. You can open up an Amiga. You can change the resistors. You can program. You're talking about like making the own UI for the sampler. And you're an amazing musician. It's amazing that you're an artist as well as a technical master. That just blows my mind. Locust, these are Technics SP15. It's a Technics SP 15 turntable. It's a cool story for this one. It used to be in the radio station of Westchester Community College, the local college here, and they were throwing them out, man. When they went digital, they were throwing them out, and my dad's like, no way, we can't let these get thrown out. So he grabbed 2 of them, and he's got one in his house, and I got one in my house. So that's pretty lucky to have these. If anyone has got a question for Hoffman, please do at Amiga Bill. I'll try and see it. If I don't ask it, just ask again. It just means I saw it. I didn't see it. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna catch up on some stuff there. Nice. Omram said he's not gonna miss this pressing. He went right for it. He missed the first pressing. He's not gonna miss this one. That's awesome. Slayback, thank you so much for the resub. Slayback, appreciate that. Zoo Pedals, thank you so much for the follow. Zoo Pedals, I appreciate that. NE7 says it's impressive. You can jam all that into one Pro Tracker module. It's amazing. Retro Gaming Denmark, yeah, these are all 4-channel Amiga Pro Trackers. Is that correct? That's right, Hoffman?
Yeah. All 4-channel Pro Tracker tunes. They range in size. The one that we just heard, the professional tracker, is probably the largest one I've ever written at 1.7 meg. It's not going to fit on a floppy disk, but there's how else are you going to get 2 verses and a chorus
right
into a tune? And some of them are quite small. I think there's I think Freerunner's probably one of the smallest ones, about 40k. But that's like a chip thing. So, but yeah, they're all, you can find the files now, and you can put them on your Amiga, and you can play them from your Amiga.
Amazing. Adventure Josh, yeah, opinions on sample reuse vary widely, I imagine. I'm sure if you ask first, it's always the best way to go, right?
Sample reuse, yeah. Well, back in the old days when we were stealing sounds from other people's tunes, we didn't have the internet to ask them. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They didn't find out until they saw it like on the crack trail, right? of one of their favorite games.
Well, yeah, I mean, even I found that. I think because I left the scene for a number of years to just go off and do DJing and stuff, and then I was like scrapping back into it and looking at I think PC modules written in Fast Tracker, and then I'd hear sounds. I'm thinking, hang on, I swear that's from one of my tunes, and then I'd go and I loaded both files up, and you could see they match perfectly.
Oh my god!
All right, so. All those years of stealing other people's sounds, it's going to happen to me at some point, isn't it? So it's kind of, I guess, in the Amiga scene, it was classed as fair game or fair use. So understood. Cool. Oh man, there's so many great questions. Again, guys, if you have a question for him, do at Amiga Bill. I'll try and answer it. You know what? Someone's asking, Bobby Falcon's asking what your favorite game is. We can just hit that real quick. Maybe we'll get into games later, but we have so much to talk about. Do you play games on the Amiga? Do you have a favorite game? Do I have a favorite game? I really love. I'm gonna pick one. I'd love to Supremacy, but that's not the one I'm gonna pick. The one I'm gonna pick is a game called X Days. I don't know if you've ever played that.
No, never. No. Wow.
I love it because it was it's like a puzzly game. It's super weird. It's by Cryo, and it's just it's got like this soundtrack in it that just reacts to how you play the game. That was really good. If you've never played it, you need to try and play it on your stream at some point.
It sounds awesome. Yeah, I definitely gotta try it. This one's a little bit off topic too, but it's a good question. With all the modern like FPGA Amigas coming out, and a lot of them have better DACs in them. Are you happy about that, or would you prefer to use the original stuff?
I mean, for me, I just I like to I make demos that are intended for a machine that was made 30 odd years ago. So and it's a great solution, the FPGA stuff for keeping these systems alive. But personally, for me, if I'm going to do a DJ set, I'm going to use 2 real Amigas.
Love it.
You've got to keep it analog and keep those original digital to analog converters churning out those gritty little waveforms. So
there's nothing like it, because I thought about a lot of people, like I play mods on my streams every week, and a lot of people like ask what mod is playing, and I put it down in the lower left corner when I'm like it's just me on the screen, But like it's nice when people have like a little command, like a music command, and it'll show you like what file's playing, and like you can do that. You know, if you're playing the mod like on your PC, but I don't want to play it on the PC, man. I want to come right out of the Amiga. You know, I want to go from Paula to my viewers' ears. You know.
Yeah.
So I respect. If it's so, Digital Orphanage is a good question. If a clone of a Paula chip with a digital out was created, would you use that?
Again, it's probably not going to work too well because the digital out means that you'll need to have a DJ mixer with 2 digital ins, and DJ mixers, historically don't. They've always used analog inputs, so they're always working kind of. I mean, I think internally they're working a digital domain now, but effectively it's about pulling in analog inputs and then having a mixer control. So if you could make an Amiga box that had a DJ mixer built in with 2 600s, then I'd probably be sold.
Right on. Some folks are asking, what do you stream on Twitch, and can you drop a link to your channel? Of course, that would be great. Yeah, please do that.
I very, very rarely do. I do have a Twitch, and I can't even remember.
I think if you just type anything in the chat, then your name will come up, and they can link to it from there. Cobrian, that would be a good project. That'd be a good project.
I am offline.
Oh, okay, no problem. Oh, there you go. Poetic Android did it for you. Perfect.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you, Poetic Android. And I also, do I have a Hoffman command? I think I have a Hoffman H0ffman. I don't know if I put an O or a 0. No, maybe it's a 0. H0ffman, and then. I can't remember what command I used, but I put a link to your Twitter as well. Oh, music. I think it's the music command. Yeah, it's the music command. We're listening to DJ Hoffman, and that's a link to your Twitter as well, because I know you're active on Twitter.
I've got the SoundCloud link as well, but I'll chuck that in there.
Oh yeah, you should send me if you can send me this on the Discord, I can incorporate them into my goodie bag and all that good stuff. Kilbrian, that would be awesome. So yeah, no, this is really interesting. So I'm just curious, like I want to start getting into some of the history of Hoffman, because like I said, I've been hearing your music since I can remember. We didn't have like a ton of Demoscene stuff here in the States. Demoscene was something a little bit mysterious from like Europe. We had some stuff, but we're like, oh wow, I wonder what those European folks are doing now and having cool parties and stuff. But I remember you from the 90s. But like, what came first? Like, were you a musician first, or were you like a computer guy first?
I was, I guess, I mean, the earliest. I think if we go real far back, you can say my love of all things technical and computery comes from my dad, because he brought in the ZX81 into the house, and then the ZX Spectrum. So the early days when the home computer was like the thing that the family did on Friday night.
They all got together around the computer.
So I just loved it. I just completely just went straight into computing and all that kind of stuff, to the point where it was a family thing, but I was just so into it that my parents eventually bought me a Commodore 64, so I would just play that constantly, like all the time. So I didn't really do much else other than play games until I got the Amiga. And I hooked up with, like, I don't know if you probably found this as well. I mean, you were running a user group locally, but kind of the way you've met people is this: you find people in your local area that had the same computer as you, and then obviously if you got on, you would go and hang out, and then so we had a bunch of friends, Ian, Andy, and Clive, and Phil, aka Galahad.
Oh, legends.
So we all lived in Salisbury, so we'd always hang out and we'd watch demos and play games and stuff. And I think we decided that actually we quite like demos. Maybe we should have a go at it ourselves. And Ian was a graphic artist. He liked drawing. Clive liked coding, and I really liked music. So we just like find all the tools that we needed on like cover discs or by swapping or whatever. And just kind of started getting into it that way, and that's how I ended up just writing music, because I had the Amiga computer. So once you had that and the software, it was just off for you to do. So
Perfect. That's really cool. It's, you know, I was telling you before, I've run the Westchester Amiga user group since 1988, and that was like, it was, you know, obviously before the internet, and that's really how the Amiga community came together back then. We, you know, it was all these small pockets of people. We had 150 people in our club back in the heyday. It was pretty awesome, and there were lots of user groups in our area because I live outside of New York City. So my suburb is called Westchester County, not Westchester where Commodore's from. That's not too far away, but a lot of people get that confused. And it was just awesome, man. Like, we'd come to the meetings. Of course, we'd like trade discs. We'd have public domain library where we had like Fredfish discs. We'd have all the demos, and that was the spot, man. Like, if you had a question about your Amiga, like, that's where you would, a lot of times you'd have to like wait a whole month. Like, if you couldn't figure something out, it was on you know, on like on the first Saturday of the month, you're like, oh great, I have to wait a whole month before someone can try and help me with this. But those were great days, though. It's nothing like getting together in person. We're lucky to still have that. I think it would be, what's the 0 about in your hand, H0ffman?
It was just a cool thing to do back in the mid 90s.
Fair enough.
And then also, obviously, with the invention of the internet and everyone being on it, it became a way of getting a username that was unique. And when that was taken out, I put DJ in front of it. So
perfect, because you are a DJ.
Yeah.
So when did you get access to your first tracker? Pixels at Dawn's asking. Was it from a friend like that you were swapping with, or was it from a cover disc?
Oh, the first tracker I ever tried out was Med. So not Octamed, but Med, which was the first. It wasn't the version that did the 8-channel version. It was just the 4-channel version. So I had a copy of that on a cover disc with some samples, and I just had a play. Thankfully, the music that I wrote with Med back then is no longer in existence. You know, it was bad. Med 2.0. Yeah, again, well done, Adventure Josh. Yeah. And then I was getting into the demo scene more and more through like public domain sites that used to sell discs and stuff. But then I was doing mail swapping with other people, so we were sending discs out and then getting discs and then swapping them with locals and stuff. Found out that obviously the tracker of choice for demos was something called Noise Tracker. So we decided to found a copy of it so that we could have music that could be incorporated into demos. So the problem with Med, obviously, is that it's a commercial product, so it's a bit of a black box in terms of how it works. Where as Noise Tracker was, the code was out there, you could incorporate the music into your demo, and there wasn't really a problem with that. And subsequently, a few years later, Pro Tracker arrived, which kind of changed the game quite a bit in terms of the workflow when you were using it. So that's how I cut my teeth into making music.
That's awesome. I mean, it's so funny because I have no musical talent at all. My music teacher in grammar school told me I was so bad I should just quit because I was like wasting my time. He's like, just do something you're good at, kid. He's like, you're wasting your time here. You get other stuff. Go do the other stuff. So I spent most of my time on Deluxe Paint and all the art programs because that was my forte. So like when I hear about like Med, these are all things that I heard, but I never used them. I never got into tracking. I just learned, like I said, I learned Pro Tracker for the first time. My first little lesson from Comatron not too long ago. We did have a music SIG in our user group, so it was a special group just for the musicians. And the big program there was Bars and Pipes, the MIDI program. That was the big one. But that's a totally different ball game than tracking. So I want to rewind a little bit. I want to start here at the beginning. I headed over to Demo Zoo, Ian, and I want to find like the first H0ffman entry ever. And I found something called Graphical Medley by Inner City, and the way it looks to me, you're talking about your early beginnings. Your first stuff was actually like music discs, like music compilations. So for those folks who are watching and don't know what a music disc is, it's basically a floppy disk that you put into your Amiga, and it has an interface, and you can select which song you want to play, and it's got a bunch of songs on it, almost like an album, but on a floppy disk. And so were these music discs like your first foray into making stuff on the Amiga?
Pretty much. I think the first thing we ever did was a music disc. I think we were in a group at the time with a bunch of other people that we were mail trading and writing letters to and stuff. So that's I mean, it's one of the easiest gateways into making a demo scene production, because effectively you put a logo, you put some text, you put a scroller on, and you have a selector to select which tune you want to play, and then you're done. You don't really have to think about much past that other than what's going to be in the text. So it's a really good way of getting your music out there.
That's let's take a look at one. That's so funny. I see I Am Leg. Music Mouse is a really interesting one. I've been trying to do a documentary about that for a long time. My friends actually made another album, a vinyl album with the Amiga using Music Mouse, and that's what I've been trying to. I'm trying to get that little documentary off the ground. There's been a few technical issues with it, but one day I'll get there. But that's funny that you brought that up. Anyway, so let's take a look at a music disc. As awesome as the vinyl is, I'm gonna pause it. I love that sound. and so I've got graphical medley by Inner City here. This is from 1990, and this is the first thing that comes up for Hoffman on Demoscene. Let me switch over to my FSUA here. There we go. Oh, let me turn off that chat. I got that chat covering up. There we go. Perfect. Let's fire this up and see what's going on.
So yeah, this is quite interesting, this one. Because I don't think this is the first thing that I officially released. Actually, let me just see if I can. Wait, let's see when the music starts, because.
So I think it's a sample of a CNC Music Factory song. Everybody, everybody.
I think it is, but I'm just trying to work it out, because this isn't actually a release. Until today, I didn't realize this existed.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, which is the thing. Hang on. Hang on. So I'm just looking at this. So so I think the thing to remember about the Amiga scene back in those days as well is that when your music was out there, it did sometimes get used in stuff that you didn't know about. And some of it I wouldn't find out for years after that something that I'd done ended up being in some production somewhere. This is one of those instances where I don't remember doing CNC music. I mean, I could easily have done it, but there's there's so many modules out there that I think the count was about something like 230 or something like that on Amiga Music Preservation under my name.
It's unbelievable. Holy cow.
And I'm amazed that they're there, if I'm honest, because I used to write them and then share them with X, Y, and Z. Some of them would get used in production, some of them wouldn't. But I'd always have a copy of them. I'd always trade them. I'd always send them to my friends. Like, I've just written this tune. I've sent it on a floppy disk to someone, and they've put it on their Amiga hard drive and kept it in their collection. And it kind of came to a point where I think there's 2 or 3 sites actually that kind of really pulled this together. There's the Amiga Music Preservation site that I've mentioned before. And Modland, which is an FTP that's run by, I think, Coma. And they've gone out and basically gone to everyone over the years, if you have any modules, just send them to us, because we want to include them in our collection. So these people that I've been in touch with have obviously sent them to this central repository. And then I come back after losing my original Amiga hard drive years and years ago, and then came back and went, oh, wow, all these tunes still exist. And I thought I just sent them to like 4 of my friends.
Wow.
Now they're on this website.
Where did these come from? That was awesome that they're survived like that. That's great. It's so funny. I played that disc briefly before the stream, and I didn't look at it closely enough there, Ian. There was a little bit of adult material there, so I turned it off relatively quickly. That's something that you'll find in all these old demos. It's so weird. I didn't even notice it because I played it. I was like, oh, this is great. It works. And I was listening to the music, and then I just put it up now, and I was looking at it. I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah. So that's a music disc. They don't all have graphic images on them. But so, oh, that was funny. Lori Spiegel, yeah, Lori. I'm in touch with Lori Spiegel. She's a little bit shy. I'm a little bit shy. NE7, but I'm in touch with her. I'm trying to get that off the ground. Adventure Josh is asking, how did you get in touch with Simon Charles to join Monotonic? I'm curious, you never popped up in the RC channels.
That was so. Oh, I'm trying to think how that actually panned out. So the mono panned out from, or it kind of came to that. There was a lot of Amiga musicians in the UK demo scene, and the UK demo scene was starting. You know, when it was getting to the kind of closing years of the Amiga, it was starting to get into a bit of a slump. You know, the coders weren't really doing anything graphic, so nothing was really coming together. And the internet was starting to take off. And I knew, as he was known then, Hollywood, or Simon, from being in various groups, knew various other people. So we kind of knew each other anyway. And he kind of got in touch to say, I'm setting up this thing that's like a record label, but it's just for Pro Tracker mods, and we're going to put them out for free, and we'll release them with, you know, little ASCII arts and you know, it'll have a catalog number and the rest of it, and we'll put them all out. Jet Set, yeah, he was in Jet Set. That's right, Steps. And then he's going to put them out on the BBSs and on the internet and share them around, you know, news groups and what have you. And that's how all of that started. But to answer the original question, it was just, you know, we all kind of, a lot of us in the UK Amiga scene knew each other anyway, from either mail trading, chatting on the phone, or doing naughty things with your phone to get free phone calls.
Yeah. That was the fun stuff, phone freaking. We had to get free phone calls because you're talking about BBSs. I remember when, you know, just calling outside of my town was like a long distance call, and the further away you dialed, the more money it cost, and you had to do it like after 7 o'clock. You got the discount, and then when call waiting came, you had to disable the call waiting because the beep would not kick you offline. But yeah, that was kind of my first introduction to like you know, Amiga in Europe as well, because I would dial into we had Prodigy here, we had CompuServe here, and there were some European folks who were like uploading to there, and that's how I started to see some of the original like intros and crackdros over on my end. So moving on, so that was your first well, one of your first music discs.
Yeah, it's not necessarily
one of your first
thing I've done, but,
right,
yeah.
one of your first music discs on Demoscene. Now there's another one. Now the next one is an intro, right? So a music disc is a collection of music, but an intro, I assume that an intro like evolved from crackdros. Is that correct? Like, so when people would break a game, like, so back then the games had copy protection. You'd go to the store, you know, buy a game, get it on a floppy disk, and if you use the copy program to give it to your friend, you couldn't because it had what's called copy protection. But there were really, really smart folks who knew how to get around this copy protection if you wanted to share the game with your friend. So I think these started out as crackdros, right? And this is kind of the beginnings of the demo scene.
Yeah. I think NE7's got it nailed there in chat. It was like tagging. It's kind of like digital graffiti on the game. So you know, it kind of has that kind of underground feel to it, where you know, they've removed the copy protection, so they're going to slap their mark on it to say we did this, and you can see it in the C64 scene. But when the Amiga came along, it was really prevalent that the intros started to become something of a competition, as well as getting the game out as quickly as possible. So, you know, who's got the best intro when you fire up the game, and that kind of got into a competitive state on its own, and then decided, you know, people were like, well, actually, let's just break away from the whole dark side of piracy, because that's not what we're about. We're about, you know, pushing these computers as far as and hard as we can. So that's, it's exactly where that whole thing comes from.
Brilliant. Well, this is called New Intro. It's by Inner City, and this is the first Demoscene entry with your name on it for intros. Do you recall this one?
Let's have a look. Potentially, yeah.
Let's check it out. Yo, DJ Clyfrog, thank you so much for the follow. Sorry, I didn't say that before. Thank you. And Claymore's official, thank you for the follow.
Do you know what? I think this might actually be another case of an incorrect credit on Demoscene. Don't know how that's happened.
That's funny. It's Demozoo because like Demozoo is like one of the main sites too.
Yeah, but I wonder why they've got me listed against this, because that's.
So you don't recall this tune at all?
No.
That is so funny.
That's weird. Oh,
that's funny. I see. I tried to do my research. I tried to find some cool stuff, and I did my due diligence, but I guess I had bum information to go off of.
It's the problem. The problem is Demozoo, I think. I tell you what. Yeah, that's me. Let's have a little dig, shall we? Because I know that if we go for,
yeah, NE7 is saying it could be. So what is the Hydilde? Is that another name for you? Hydlide. That's it. Yep.
Yeah. So that is my old name that I used to use back in the early 90s. But I don't know why that's linked to me. I'm trying to do due diligence myself now and find out if I can find one of the earliest things that I worked on. But I tell you what, I do have one. Let me just dig it out, and this is actually a music disc.
Oh, brilliant! And are you gonna send it to me?
Yeah.
You can. What you can do. You can actually, if you go into the Discord, you can just drop an ADF file or a DMS file in there, and I can play it.
Let me just have a look here. So show all. There we go.
Or you can do it on your end if you want, like.
Yeah. Oh wow, forgot about that one as well. It is. I think it's called. Oh, there it is.
You found one?
Okay. That's the production. I'm linking it to Poe anyway. I've just sent it to Bill in chat.
Okay.
I think this is probably the first thing that we ever did, actually. I think it's on YouTube, actually. If you want to just fire it up on there, that'll probably be the easiest.
That'll probably be the easiest. Yeah, let's see if I can.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll pull it up.
Actually, I think there's a YouTube link on there. There is. Oh my goodness. Yeah, if you follow that link. Oh wow.
That's awesome.
There you go. So that is. So yeah, that's the first production, I think. Well, I think we did some other things before as a group called Scandal, but they seem to have disappeared. So Flashing Bytes was one of the first main things where we started actually doing some output. So this is 3 of my tunes on here, 2 by my friend Xanadu, who is also called Ian, and he was our graphic artist as well. But was was good at doing music as well. And there's one there by a guy called Fugitive who'd recently joined the group as well. We didn't manage to keep him very long because he ended up being snapped up by I think it was. Is it Anarchy or Digital? I can't remember, but yeah, he didn't last long in our group. He was too good.
Does that happen? Because there's a variety of demo groups. Does that happen when someone is like with a group, they just jump over to another group and they can't be in both groups because they don't have enough time to work for each group? Is that?
It was what's the word I'm looking for? It's much more primal, I think, back in the early 90s as well. Like you wouldn't necessarily have people that were in multiple groups. Like it was. Kind of that was your badge, I think. Over years, that kind of dissipated, and you ended up being in, NE7's in like as many groups as I've been in, if not more. So it does kind of dissolve itself after a while. But yeah, back in the early days, it was a real thing. You'd have actually people trying to. They'd either kind of break off from the group and start their own thing, or they'd be poached by another group by going, "Oh, we really like you. We got a really good coder. Come and join us." So you'd have a bit of that. I think if you look at the old the old disc mags, I've obviously read a few of those. There will be a news section in some of them where they're like, you'll see, so and so left this group and join that group. So yeah, it's kind of like the weird relationship column, I guess.
Yeah, it's so funny because I really used to enjoy like looking at the scrolling sine wave text or any of the scrolling text in these music discs. There, you could really see like each group kind of giving it to the other group.
yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. Retro Gaming Denmark, I'm glad you're enjoying this little segment, taking Hoffman back to the beginning. Who knew Demo Zoo? So don't trust everything you see on Demo Zoo. Who knew? I tried to get like his early stuff, I did my research, but I had bad information. But at least we're seeing it now. That's pretty awesome. Maya82, what is up, Maya82? Maya82 in the chat. On the monitor, you see I got all my VIP stickers on the monitor. We got My82 down there by the Amiga logo. We got the newest member, Milo Loves Chocolate, right here with this awesome little avatar there. We got the OROM in the upper left corner. We got SR Baker up there in the upper right corner. Retrobench.com with all your Amiga recapping goodness, misters. We got lemonamiga.com, Seth Lemon Amiga. We got Chris Abissi from the Dark Horse Observatory. And of course, Monster Joysticks. Thank you all for your support. I appreciate you all very much. And then on the lower monitor, we got Amiga Sons. We got the Vintage Computer Society of Athens making the Greek stick. And we got Retro Ready 1, another amazing Amiga store. All right, cool. Ian, let me switch over here. We got so much to show today. I'm so excited. There's so much to do.
Can we just say genuine Sunwire arcade parts?
Sorry, say again. I missed that. Say again.
Can I just say genuine Sunwire arcade parts?
Genuine, yes. So you are a Monster joystick fan yourself.
Monster joysticks, yeah.
Excellent, very, very cool. They're great, man. I love them. Yes, genuine Sunwire arcade parts. Let me go over here. Go over to my notes. Then there is a really good dude too. Again, I don't know if this is right. I feel now I'm like a little bit off. We'll be but I found the first demo you're credited with on Demo Zoo is from 1991. It's the Paradise BBS Informer by Flashing Bytes. Is that you?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. There we go, baby. There we go. DJ Billy Nest in the chat from the Vintage Computer Society of Athens. Greek stick. You gotta check out the Greek stick too, Ian. It's Hoffman. It's amazing. This is a great joystick. I have one here. I'm gonna raffle off. I need to fix it first. It got damaged in the post, and then I'm gonna raffle it off.
Oh, no.
But DJ Nest he's a great musician as well. He's never been in a demo group, but thanks to your latest COVID-19 module, something new is cooking. Awesome, DJ Nest. I love it, dude. Congrats, man. Yes. That is awesome. So this is called Paradise BBS Informer. I'm going to play it with my FSUAE. Let's see if I can find it. Paradise, where am I here? Paradise, Inner City, Quartz. Wait a minute. Flashing Bytes. Hoffman, did I blow this one again, dude? Let me see what's going on here. Paradise BBS Informer. I've got it. I have it queued up. Paradise BBS Informer by Flashing Bytes. Let me just see if it's the heat in here. Flashing Bytes. There we go. I got it. It's just got a different file name. I was like, am I really blowing it that bad? I'm good, everyone. We're good. Here we go. We'll go to our FSUAE setup. Boom, and action, baby. Let's go.
I love those colors.
I love them too. I actually have a question after it fires up. I want to know what's going on. I don't know. There we go.
That's decrunching.
Here we go.
Oh, wow, yes. I remember doing this one. Wow, those colors. Oh.
That's crazy. So is that the copper chip going crazy?
It's like I remember the birth of the Amiga. It's like, look at all these colors. There's 4,096 of them. So demo coders were like, let's use all of them at the same time.
Oh, why wouldn't you want to, man? You guys are pushing it to the max. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We need all the colors right now. Yeah, I remember this one. This is I just done a tune, and the Flashing Bytes guy said, we've got a BBS. Can you do an intro to advertise it? So we're like, yeah, that's fine. So we put this together, and oddly enough, you might not get to it on this one, but at the end of the tune, right at the end, it's actually got some MSX loading sounds.
Oh wow, very cool.
Yeah,
I love the sounds of the vintage computers too. In my YouTube opening, I use some modem sounds because I used to love dialing in and hearing those modem sounds. So that's very cool to like sample sounds, computer sounds. I mean, who doesn't love the sound of the Amiga floppy drive? and
Exactly,
that's so good. I remember one of my favorite Amiga games, Wayne Gretzky Hockey. They did something in the boot track that made it vibrate in a cool way, where it sounded like you were at a hockey arena, where it was like Rangers. It was like, wow, it was so cool. I was like, what are they gonna think of next?
Not good for your motor.
Yeah, exactly. No, no wonder why the floppy drive in my 500 died. Oh man, this is I'm drinking. It looks like moonshine. When after 2 p.m. I'll drink moonshine. Right now I'm just drinking water because it's like 1,000 degrees in here. I'm sweating. But this is cool, man. This is very cool. So it's for an intro for the Flashing Bytes BBS. I love it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, you get a lot of that as well. Like the group's got a new BBS, or they've partnered with someone that's got a BBS. So they're like, well, let's get people calling it. So you'd make an intro that then would get spread around on disc, and then people are like, well, I'll go and call it then.
That's I mean that's so funny because I never really did, because most of them were in Europe, and like the long distance phone call to Europe would have been like and I was always so disappointed, because I'm like, man, this BBS looks so cool, I want to dial in, but it's gonna cost like $1,000 and my parents will kill me.
Yeah.
There's a few old rave tunes in this, hilarious, not enough copper bars. All right, well let's move on to the next one. Let's see what we got here, Hoffman. So someone asked, I guess they're just joining the stream. They asked if you're a musician. Yeah, Hoffman is absolutely 100% a musician. He's a DJ. He's not just a DJ. He creates his own original music, and he released a few weeks ago this double vinyl record album called The Cave Sessions. It's all based on a rave in the cave session that he did on the Retro Man Cave YouTube channel. And the initial release sold out instantly, and they're doing a second pressing. So if you want in on this gorgeous album, Hoffman The Cave Sessions, do ! Vinyl in the chat. DJ Hoffman already did it, and you can get in on it, because there's only 250 in the second pressing, right, Hoffman?
Yeah.
So
I think that'll be the cutoff after that, I think. So yeah, it's your last chance. So so we're putting in for the repress now, and that should be approximately 4 weeks. But obviously, if you pre-order it now, then I think it says something like 5 weeks on for delivery. So it shouldn't be yes, if you get your pre-order in now, secure your slot effectively.
Get in there, man. It's worth it, man. It is such a good album. I love it. What threw me off first is it's a larger. I get it 16 inches. At first I put it on 33 RPMs, and I was like, wait a minute, something sounds a little wrong. And Retro Man is like, no, dude, it's 45. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Simon69 Twitch. Simon is a great Amiga musician as well. He does lots of music for the new Amiga games that are coming out, and he's curious, is it expensive to press a vinyl these days?
Yes, particularly in those kind of numbers.
Low numbers, 250 is not.
Yeah, those kind of numbers. I think back when I was doing some music releases when I was doing breakbeat back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And we do like EPs or singles, and only press them on. We're doing like bootleg remix. We press them on one side. It's become more expensive now, because obviously when vinyl died off, a lot of the plants that were able to do that had got rid of all their equipment. So, but it does cost quite a lot to get that kind of thing off the ground.
I can imagine, but this is money well spent. I love collecting. It's an amazing collector's item. I guess there'll only be 500 total pressed. And the quality of the recording is just amazing. Let me exit out of here. We can move on. Sweet. This is a blast. Digital Orphanage is asking who got the Upside Down signed album.
I haven't found it yet. I haven't. No one's come forward. So as you may or may not know, when we did the stream when it went on sale, there's one copy out of the 250 that I've signed upside down. And we don't know where it is. It's there somewhere. It must have gone to someone, but no one's come forward and said, "I've got the one that's upside down." So
what's the story behind it? So one of them was printed upside down by accident.
No, I signed it upside down.
On the stream. Got it.
So I think it was when I'd done like a bunch of them, and I was chatting to Neil, and I just put one in front of me and just went like that, and then went, oh no, whoops, okay, well let's just put that down.
Hey,
So, like, that's the super unique. It's the most unique version.
that's the ultimate collector's one right there. Is there an 8-track version? That's hilarious. Digital Orphanage. I love it. I mean, I don't love 8-track. It's so funny because we have a lot of media in my dad's house. He loves vinyl. He loves laser discs. He loves mini disc. But 8-track, he hates the 8-track. He's like, oh, that 8-track was just a pain. I never liked the 8-track. It's just hilarious. Now, so we'll do one more historical piece from Hoffman. Now, this one I'm 99% sure it's from you because it's your first post on DemoZoo, taking it back to 1993, Binary Emotions Volume 1. And you made a comment about it where you said you weren't crazy about the music, but you liked the interface.
Yeah. So actually, this one's quite an interesting one because as I mentioned earlier, with Flashing Bytes and also this, so this was our attempt at trying to break into the Amiga game music market. So we produced like these music packs that we would send out to software houses. So Ian did the graphics, and both me and Ian made the music on them. Clive did the code, and we crafted these things. We sent them all out, and they had zero response whatsoever. But off of the back of that, basically as a team, they decided to get together and get into making video games, which culminated in the creation eventually of Sperris Legacy.
Wow.
Heard of that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes, well done, Steps. Yeah, Sperris Legacy, correct. Yeah, so that's how we that's kind of what happened in that era when we're all together. I think pretty much after Sperris Legacy, the Amiga was virtually like limping through the game shop. After that, I think I'd got into DJing and stuff. So we kind of kept in touch, but kind of went off and did our own thing after that.
So Binary Emotions Volume 1 was kind of like you were still into Amiga, but then after this you maybe put it on pause for a little bit, and then went into more DJing, or were you? Yeah, gotcha.
After I think I was doing the mono thing anyway. We were just releasing music on the scene. Not really kind of involved in the Amiga scene, but just kind of pushing stuff out and not really doing much else. But I was really into my DJing at that point, so I was spending a lot of time in nightclubs. So,
yeah, that's here we go. I'm firing it up right now. Where is it? Boom. Yeah, understood. That's a totally different lifestyle. Nightclubs and here we go. This is beautiful, beautiful artwork.
Very much, yeah. So this is basically Binary Emotions. So you'll know that Binary Emotions is the Ocean Soft. Oh, that's what we did. I remember now. Is we'd put the software company's name in the music disc so that they think it was for them. This is I can't remember who wrote the Ian Jolly and Ian Ford. There we go. Graphics by Ian Jolly. Binary Emotions then became the software company that made Sperris Legacy.
Interesting.
So
wow.
That's kind of where that went out. Yeah.
I'm trying to let's see, get it to play here. It played before. Of course it did.
Oh yeah. I love the interface on that. You the mouse is locked across that axis, so you can hit the play button, which is the one pointing right in the middle.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
It threw me off. It looked like the pause button, so it threw me off. I'm like, wait, is it playing? Oh no, the pause button is there.
That's probably what threw. That's probably why we didn't do so well with the first. The first thing you have to do is click the play button.
Oh, this is cool.
You get a little picture for each tune as well, which I really like.
I love it. That's like it says Roadhog. It reminds me of like a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner type of scene there.
Yeah.
I can see it looks like an Amiga game. I can't put my finger on it. It looks like an Amiga game.
Yeah, that was what we were trying to angle for until we eventually just bit the bullet and went and made a game. So. Yeah.
It's funny. Because in your group there's two Ians, so I get confused.
Yeah, one that did graphics and music, and me.
This is awesome. I mean, these music discs bring back so many memories. They probably got your disc and said, "We're not hiring those crackers." It's hilarious. Let's see. How do I go to the next song?
That's a good question.
Oh wow, you can fast forward. That is pretty cool. Did you Dopefish is asking if you did any music on Mini Skies as well. He bought that game in a box from Electronics Boutique as a kid. Nice.
No, I didn't. I was I think I was fully into my nightclubbing life by then. So yeah, I was just I was focusing on my DJing quite a lot at the weekends. I think the most amicable way to put that.
I understood. The it's really cool because it's so funny because around like 93, 94, I was still. I mean, I never left Amiga. Like I was telling you before, we're an Amiga user group and we've been meeting like ever since 1998. We never stopped. But there certainly was a lull, in like 93, 94. Obviously, Commodore folded in 1994. Amiga was looking a little bit less attractive. The PC started to get some great games. I always loved my Amiga games, but I could see that its future was waning a bit. It was also a pivotal time in my life because I was going away to college and I was trying to figure out like what my career path was. So that's when I got like really into filmmaking and photography, and I just kind of put like all my energy into filmmaking and photography. I would always go back home to my parents' house and I'd have my Amiga there, I'd fire it up and I'd play it. We'd still have our Westchester Amiga user group meetings, but it was almost like there was a dark period where there wasn't much happening in the Amiga scene. So it was just like a bunch of friends getting together and hanging out. So I imagine that's kind of like what your DJ era was about.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, things were kind of. I mean, I still had my Amiga. It was still limping on. I was still writing music with it and releasing it with mono, even though there weren't any games coming out. The demo scene would obviously still keep that going because as soon as the demo scene gets its teeth into a platform, then it just keeps rolling with it really.
Awesome.
So I was still kind of still using it to do that. I think when it got to like the really late 90s, I was trying to make music a bit more professionally. So at that point I was like, right, well, at this point now I need a PC and something, some more hardware and the rest of it. So that's when I kind of, I wouldn't say my Amiga kind of finally died anyway. So that was, so that was the kind of switch, and I was obviously playing with some PC games, but I was so much more focused on just music and DJing in that kind of era that that was just all I was really doing. So.
For sure. Yo, DJ Ness, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the little history lesson. I want to show some classic Hoffman. We're gonna get into some modern Hoffman too, because Hoffman is not just Amiga. He does amazing stuff on other platforms as well. AranaNet, thank you for the follow. That's I'm assuming that's Edu Arana. Edu, I don't know Hoffman if you know him. He's incredible. This dude makes more hardware for the Amiga than anyone. Like he's every week he's making a new piece of hardware for his Amiga. He did a whole like re-implementation of the Amiga 500 that you can put inside an Amiga 500 case. He's amazing, dude. So Edu, thank you for the follow, man. It's great to have you here. I love your stuff. Keep up the great work, and I love your follow Fridays too. Impellerhead, thank you so much for the follow. I hope everyone's having a great time today. What's up, Retro Red Rum? Retro Red Rum is one of my best buds. He just moved away, man. He moved back home to France. I hope you're doing great. He's also the CEO of Double Sided Games. They make games for the Commodore 64 and Amiga. New games, which is so rad. DJ Mario from Ami Party in the chat as well. I gotta say, that was one of my first like demo parties I ever went to, was Ami Parties, like half retro event, half demo party, because we didn't really have many demo parties here in the United States. And Ami Party was like my first legit like European party I went to, and it was so much fun. Oh my god, there's such a great group of people there.
Wow.
Biff Vandersnatch, thank you so much for the follow, Biff. If you're new to the stream, welcome. I'm Bill. I stream Amiga stuff here every Sunday on Twitch, 2 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UTC. I also have a YouTube channel, my buddy Anthony, the Guru Meditation. You can see it up there. And today we are joined by the legend, man, and one of my favorite people in the Amiga community, DJ Hoffman. One of the most talented people. He's amazing with the codes, amazing with the music. His stuff. I'm just a huge fan of his stuff, man. Like I said, I've got it in my car. I got full volume flying down the highway on my way to work. I get to work and I'm just all pumped up thanks to Hoffman. Amiga Cami, what's up? I hope all's well in Tasmania. That's amazing. So let me. I'm gonna escape out of this, Hoffman. We're doing a little Hoffman retrospective today. We're learning about the demo scene. The whole impetus today's stream is this new amazing piece of vinyl. This is a double record set that Hoffman produced with Retro Man Cave. It's freaking awesome. Where is it? Boom. Here it is. It's Hoffman, the Cave Sessions, and he announced on his stream today that they're going to do a second pressing. So if you missed the first release of the Cave Sessions, you can pick it up. There you go. Perfect. You did the same in your car, DJ Ness. Nice. I have your music in my car too, DJ Ness. By the way. I love your latest release. Did I close that window? Okay, good. I didn't close it. So let's we can take it anywhere you want to, Ian. But I was thinking, let's fast forward into like the we're talking about late '90s, early 2000s. You and I are both loving our Amigas. I'm off doing filmmaking. You're off doing your DJing. But let's go to like let's come into like 2012, 2011, 2012. I think things are coming around. The demo scene is like really heating up. People are starting to get interested in Amiga again. They're rediscovering Amiga, and you did a lot of work for a group called Focus Design, and I actually started the show with one of those demos. Can you tell us a little bit about your work with Focus Design?
As I said, we're both having that kind of break. It got to 2010, I think, was the year that I went to my first demo party in 15 years, something like that. And it was run by Rory, who we mentioned earlier. And he'd asked me like a couple of years, they run it every year in Exmouth down the south of England. And he'd asked me around the same time for like 2 or 3 years in a row. I run this demo party. I've seen you DJ before, but I also did my research and found out that you're an old demo scener. And every year it would always clash with the festival that I was playing at, until eventually one year the DJing was starting to calm down, and the festival in question wasn't running anymore. So I was like, well, I'm not doing anything this year. So yes, I'm definitely coming down. He said, can you spin some tunes for us? Yes. And he said, we've also got a tracked music competition. I'm like, what? What do you mean? If you want to write a Pro Tracker module and enter it into the compo, then go for it. So that was I came crashing back into the scene in 2010 because I went to this party, met loads of people, had a really great time, talked about old days and all this other stuff, and then decided to bite the bullet and go to Revision demo party in Germany in 2011. It's the first year that they've held it. And then I bumped into this. This is like how interconnected everything is. It's crazy. So I bumped into a guy called Booster, who'd listened to me DJ on a internet radio station called Leap Radio that was run by a guy called Celsius. And I chatted to him for years back then on IRC.
We never met.
And then I was in the Revision IRC channel. I was tapping away. It's like, oh, I remember you from Leap Radio. And it's like, oh, hi. Like, wow. So I'm in this group, Focus Design. I really like your music. Do you want to come and join us and make music for our demos? And I was like, yeah, that could be fun. And that's how that all kind of kicked off.
Amazing. So you had a relationship online with him, but never actually met in person. Then Revision 2011, the first Revision you meet, and then that takes you to the intro. You did the intro for Revision 2012. Now, folks who are watching who may not know what Revision is, I would say right now it is like the demo party in the entire world. It takes place in Germany over the Easter weekend, and it is really the premier demo scene event in the world. Some of the best demos get released at Revision, and I've always wanted to go to Revision. I was thinking about going this year. Obviously couldn't make that happen for obvious reasons, but I'm gonna get there one day. And so I've got the Revision 2012 intro that you did for Focus Design queued up. So I think we should take a look at it. Let me just navigate to that for a moment. I'm gonna close that. I got a lot of navigation over here, Hoffman. But I have it all relatively organized. I got a lot of mixed media going on here. Demos. I have the actual demos, the code for the actual demos, and then I have video recordings. So I'm actually gonna play a video recording of this one because it's a little bit easier for me. Perfect timing on the track. I'm so careful when I move my chair. I don't want to shake the room or anything and bump the needle. Simon says Revision's the son of Breakpoint. Very, very cool. Razor XG Razor, thank you so much for the sub, Razor. You're amazing. He says hi to me and Hoffman. Razor makes some great music too. We have a lot of really, really talented people in the chat today. It's an honor to have all you here. Thank you everyone for hanging out and spending time with myself and Hoffman. Are you having a good time, Hoffman? I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
Awesome, sweet. So
I tell you what I do need is a drink.
Go. I'll tell you what. Go grab a drink, and I'm gonna play the Revision 2012 intro.
Yeah, excellent.
Perfect.
Right, back in 2.
Take your time. So guys, this is the Revision 2012 invite. Let me pause this. Boom. Okay. I'm gonna turn it up. Revision 2012 intro by Focus Design, music by Hoffman. Sweet, that was awesome, Hoffman. That was really, really cool. So that was so you did the music for that one, correct? You didn't do any coding. That was amazing, and that was kind of your entry back into the demo scene, right?
Yeah, I think that is the first production I'd put music to in a great many number of years. So yeah, that was the first one.
Perfect. Everyone is really enjoying it. Hoffman, thank you so much for coming on. Everyone's saying that it's a great stream. They love the demo and the DJ streams. Comatron says this is how Revision looks. He wants to see both me and you at Revision 2021. I want you to.
It's a foregone conclusion that I'm there. I think actually DFox has got me under some kind of contract to be there every year.
Oh, great. So. So you have no choice, do you? NE7, thank you. You mentioned us on ASCII's Twitter to say thanks for. Oh, thank you so much, man. I hope you're enjoying it. Oh, that's what, Walker GR has got a great question while I'm queuing up the next demo. He's saying, where can we find your mods online? Like, some people want to hear your mods and play them.
Oh god, there's a bunch of places. There's Amiga Music Preservation, which you can find me on there. You can find them mostly. Demoscene is probably the easiest place to get to them, I think, because you can find me and then that'll link. I think that links all the music that's in the Amiga Music Preservation site directly to a nice user interface. So that's Demoscene is probably the best place, I think, if you want to get the original mods. Though I don't think there's any that are missing. I think the link through is pretty much there, at least for the ones that have been used in demos and music discs and what have you.
Brilliant. I got it. I just posted it into the chat. That's the Amiga, and I use Demoscene a lot. And another one I really like. I don't know if you know H0ffman. He's a great Polish musician. He's got modules.pl, which I really like modules.pl a lot too.
Yeah, that's a great site actually.
Very, very cool. So another one I've got queued up here as well. Another one from your collaboration with Focus Design. You want to go Oram? Nice, Oram. Oram, I'm sorry. I think you mentioned something before, and I think I might have missed it, Oram. So if you've asked something before and I missed it, please ask again. Oh yeah. DJ Ness is on modules.pl. Awesome, dude. Another one I really liked. Was Hot Dots.
Oh yes, yeah. So I'm a personal favourite of mine. This one. So it was. This was a collaborative effort. We had a guy called Mates, who was basically had come on board to be the director of the intro. And so he was communicating with both me and Coriel the coder, because he had kind of like a vision, and like he was doing the graphics for it. So he had like an overall vision of how he wanted it to look. So it was the first time I'd really kind of experienced what it's like to write music for a demo where that vision is there. So it's not just a case of, I think the revision one, I'd written a tune, it was about 2.5 minutes long. I said, will that work? They went, yeah, that's fine. We'll go off and make the demo. This is the first time I'd worked with someone where I'd supplied, this is what I've got for our 64K, and is that okay? And it's the first time I'd ever got back some feedback of saying, well, actually at this point we're going to do this, so can you switch that up? Can you change that? And it only took a few changes, but after I did that, because as you might hear, I tried to put quite a lot of detail and edits and stuff into my music to kind of keep it interesting, and then Mates basically put Coriel to task to make everything sync up to the music. And he had a lot. It's like, I think there's this one moment where he says he thought he'd finished the demo, and then he got another email from Mates with 3 pages of sync points that he needed to put in. And he was like, no!
You just answered a bunch of my questions. Well, I guess while we're on the topic, we'll talk about it. I always wonder, because I do a lot of music videos, and whenever I do a music video, the music always exists first, and then we create the visuals to accompany that music, whether it's just telling a story or it's just performance. But all the the visuals are planned based on the song, and all the editing is based on the song. So like when you do a demo, I mean, you basically have to answer the question. But is it the situation where a demo group comes to you and they say, hey, we want a song, or do you know what the visuals are before you make the composition, or are you just making the music first and they're making the visuals to your music? How does that dynamic work?
Generally, the kind of the general method that is used is if you're going to make a demo, you will have an idea of its look and feel, I guess. If you're really going for it, you will start with effectively a mood board, or like a scrapbook, effectively, of like images and maybe video clips that kind of give you an idea of how this is going to look and how it's going to feel. And then so if you're talking about the big picture, when you're doing that bigger project, then you'll provide tracks that you think to other people's tracks, so you go, is this the kind of atmosphere we're looking for? So the kind of the groundwork that happens before you even start making the demo is actually quite involved in cases where you're really going for it, and the director has that kind of vision, and then that'll from those reference tracks you'll go, right, I know what atmosphere and what have you I need to create, so you'll then go off and make music with that kind of atmosphere. And then there's like a lot of back and forth that happens in that kind of scenario where you'll do something, they're like, well, can you pull it back here, and okay, that's fine, or this isn't right. So you really do have to have I guess a thick skin, I guess, because you are going to get feedback from your music and you may not like it, but it's not because you have to remember that you're not writing music necessarily for yourself, you're writing music to fit with this overall vision. So you just have to kind of oh, you don't like that, well, that may have taken me like 3 days to get that bit right, but now I'm just going to park it over here, so that's just the way it is. It's part of the fun. Exactly, that's right, Any7. But sometimes it'll be the other way round, like I think Way Too Rude, for example, is kind of the other way around, where I built the synth and the whole tune and then put the demo on top of the tune. So the tune can, in some cases, be the thing that's completely made first, and then you just put the visuals to it. So it depends. How it works really depends on how the project is started in the first place, or what components are already there. But yeah, I think the way I described it, the first process where it's a lot more back and forth, and it's more collaborative, they're the really interesting projects to kind of work on, because you are, you can't just go, oh, I'll just write this, that'll be fine. Right. It's probably not going to work. You have to kind of look at what's the goal here, and how we're going to make it feel that way.
Yeah, it's more of a collaboration. Like when there's a clear vision in someone's head, you guys can work together to get to that point. Whereas if everyone's kind of off on their own doing their own thing, it's more it's more of like a collage than versus like coherent piece, like with a vision. Yeah. Like David Fincher, man, like he storyboards everything. Like everyone knows exactly what that dude wants, and everyone works together from the lighting to the sound design. Everyone's all in that together, knowing what the final goal is. They're not figuring it out as they go along, and they're not taking a piece of music somewhere and cutting to the music. But that's really, really cool, man. It's a great answer. I appreciate that, because I always wondered. I'm like, do they make the music first and then the visuals, or do they work together, or how does that work? But I want to talk about Every Way in a minute too. So, but let's take a look at Hot Dots, which is one of your favorites, and Hot Dots by Focus Design. This is an Amiga demo, and you were saying that this is one of the first ones where you actually did, not one of the first ones, but since you came back, where you actually did a collaboration with them. You did a little bit of back and forth trying to get it right. And another interesting thing about this demo you're about to see is it's 64 kilobytes, right? Is that correct? That I have no idea how you get all this stuff, like all these visuals and all this music to fit in 64 kilobytes. It doesn't make sense to me. Can you touch on that for a minute? I mean,
so yeah, a lot of it is to do with compression. Particularly on this one, the music is just the Pro Tracker tune. There's nothing special about it, other than the fact that it's been tuned up to be, quite, the samples have all been, trimmed really tightly, and everything's kind of pulled together really, but then it's just mostly compression that's on top of that, and kind of data encoding to make the data more palatable for a compressor before it goes into it as well. So you do some groundwork on that, but a lot of it in terms of the visuals. On this, the actual drawn graphics are quite basic, so when that hits a compressor, it turns it into nothing.
Wow.
If you've got like big sections of big blocks of just one color, the compressor will just see that and just go, well, I can see it's the same like this for this long, so we don't need any of that information in between. And then in terms of the actual demo effects in there, again, a lot of those work on they're mathematical formulas that generate data. So you can get like a random number generator to say, from this number generate me a bunch of random numbers, and because you're doing that from a seed, it's the same set of numbers every time, so it's you can replicate it. So you can say, right, I'll get my random number generator in, I'll plug that into these things in this star field, and then every time we run it, it will be the same, but it means we don't need to keep the coordinates for everything. We can just go, here's one number, here's a formula, generate me all the data. So that's where the 64K stuff comes in.
It makes sense. So for in like layperson's terms, the compressor is almost is it almost something like a zip file, you know, or a raw file? Except, but it's a specialized one for the demos and for handling graphics and music.
Yeah.
And I imagine there's different types of compressors and more advanced compressors. Some that are better at doing music, some are better at doing visuals. Something.
Yeah. So you can do there's different techniques you can use on different types of data. So when you look at different types of data, like so for example, on a really good example is audio. When you look at audio, you can see that it's a number that goes up and down. It's a waveform. So if it's 16 bits, you're taking up 16 bits of information for every single step. Yeah. So one simple trick is to basically encode the differences between the numbers. So you have a starting point at 0, and then the numbers between it moving are actually smaller numbers. So if you think about it, once you've just got, I've got this number, I'm going to add 1 to it, so I'm now there. I'm going to add 2 to it, so I'm now there, 3 to it. And then -5, -4, those numbers are a lot smaller rather than storing every single actual position. And then when you put that data through like a zip file or whatever, there's less differences. The information's a lot more similar. So it goes, right, we can just wipe all of this stuff out and just squeeze it all together a lot better.
That makes sense. So you explain it very, very well, Hoffman. Thank you. Because I of course, like I now always have a concept of how it works. 2 questions about the album here. Oram's asking if the next set is going to be signed.
No, it's not, but it will be sealed.
Okay. Fair enough. Oh, and Retro. Oh, sorry, I'm overmodulating there. Retro Ravi DJ. I'm sure you know Ravi from Ravi. Yeah. He's asking if you're getting a Polygon tracker.
I haven't. To be fair, I don't know if you saw on Twitter the other day. I asked Twitter what my next music platform should be that I go and delve into, and they've picked the Game Boy. So
cool.
I have my work cut out for me learning that for the next couple of months and seeing what I can push out of that little box.
Awesome.
So,
I know one of my friends, C-Trix, he's a great musician as well. He does a lot of great stuff with the Game Boy. I saw him perform live with a Game Boy. It was incredible. I'm sure you're going to do some really amazing stuff with that. What is up, Ash said hi. Great to see you, Ash. I hope all is well. So let's get to Hot Dots, man. We're going to play it. We've been talking a lot about it. Let me switch over. If you're just joining the stream, like Ash said hi is, welcome. Today I am very lucky to be joined by DJ H0ffman. He is one of my favorite people in the whole Amiga scene. I've been a fan of his work since the 90s, and today is the first I actually get to talk to him. It's amazing. He's an incredible musician, an incredible coder. It's stunning. Your work is absolutely stunning. So let's take a look at Hot Dots. And so this is an Amiga 1200 demo. I imagine it's a 060 demo.
Yeah, requires some form of accelerator. I'm not sure how fast.
Usually it's an 060, but sometimes you can get away with an 030. Sometimes I'll try and fire him with my 030 and I'll cry. Black Max DK, big fan of Hoppin' as well. Nice. Yo, Majorson, thank you so much for the follow. And Tio Grand, thank you for the follow. Ash said hi, thank you for hosting my stream. It's a mega blast, baby. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I love some of these handles, Hoffman. They're hilarious. So we'll go desktop. We'll go desktop with me and you like that, and we'll watch Hot Dots together. It's gonna be rad. I'll fire this sucker up. I think I'm all the way at the beginning. That was amazing. That was amazing. One thing I really love about your, I mean, I love a lot about it, but one of the things I really love about your music is that it's not all just like something that's not repetitive. Like it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you can like really feel the emotion in it, man. It was, and I feel it in that one. It's just awesome, dude. It was so good, and it gets me so fired up. Great one, Hoffman. That was so good. And I still can't believe it's 64K. I know you explained how it works, but so like something like that. Mila loves chocolate. I've got it queued up, baby. Don't worry. Like what is whoever did the programming for it in this case? Like what do they use? Like C? Did they use assembly language? What are they doing there?
For that one, Coriel, I think he does all of his stuff in assembly actually, which is crazy. I think he even does it directly in an Amiga environment as well. I think, which is something I've stopped doing because it's when you think of modern computer systems and things like GitHub, source control, version control, all of that kind of stuff. A good level of undo, all these things that are in modern computer platforms that are not in a lot of the software that you would get on the Amiga. You really have to want to do it that way. But yeah, I mean, for the demo stuff, you will get stuff that's done in C. On the modern platforms like PC, then it's all C and C++ and shader coding, GPU coding, that kind of stuff. But when you're talking about old platforms, you might use a bit of C to do kind of a lot of the kind of boring grunt work around the edge. But when you get to the kind of stuff that has to be fast, then you have to go in and make sure that is fast. And the only way you can do that is to do it through assembly language.
That makes total sense. You gotta go right to the source. DJ Nest, I agree. DJ Nest is saying that when he saw Eon from the Black Lotus the first time, and he heard the track, he got chills and cried and wished J Minor was alive to see the masterpiece. I've got Eon queued up, ready to go too. We're gonna talk about Eon, and actually very very soon. But while we're talking about compression and fitting things into small spaces, I found one. By you that is by Looney's and Unstable Label that is actually 1 kilobyte, 1K, and it fits in a boot block. I was like, how can you make anything 1K? What is this all about? And I don't even know how to pronounce this. Is it Beelzebub's Bub Beat Block?
It's Beelzebub's boot block.
there.
So it's a production that fits within the boot block of an Amiga floppy disk. So actually, you can put this on the boot block of an Amiga disk. You could put that disk in. It will show you this demo, and then you click the left mouse button, and then it will take you into the Amiga operating system.
Oh my God, that is amazing! And I think you had a funny story about Dave Haney, right?
So it wasn't actually this one, but there's another one. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's another one where I'd worked with Blueberry, who's the coder on this. Dave, it was we were doing another boot block for Datastorm again because we've been there a few times, and Dave Haney was at the party, and they'd convinced him to do the announcements for the demo competitions, and he saw the boot block that we'd put together. And basically swore over the microphone. It's just like, how do you even do that?
Oh, I don't know how you do it. It's amazing. Yeah. So let's take a look at it. This is no, I'm not gonna play it on a real Amiga. The next demo I'm gonna play will be on a real Amiga. For now, I'm just gonna use a video recording I did off the emulator. But Sarko Leads, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Very, very cool. Let me start this one up. I'm gonna pause this. This is cool. So this is 1 kilobyte. Now you said you can pop it into an Amiga. Can it be any Amiga, or are you gonna want like an AGA machine for this?
No, this one works on OCS and up.
OCS and up. Oh, great. So almost any Amiga then.
But the thing is that it will take on a standard 500 or 600, it will take a long time to pre-calc.
Oh.
So
Fair enough.
So, yeah,
fair enough.
We'll be waiting for a while before it does anything, but it does work on a 500.
Amazing, amazing. Yo, Trap Shot Live, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that very, very much. Okay, here's you. Why don't you say the name of it, Hoffman? I can't even say the name of it.
Beelzebub's boot block.
Perfect. Let's go. 1 kilobyte, everyone. 1 kilobyte.
So yeah, that's it. It loops around from that.
Ah.
Yeah. So it's so interesting enough, the music's written in Protracker, which is crazy when you think that a Protracker tune with nothing in it is 1 kilobyte.
That's amazing.
Just the header information on its own is bigger than this entire production. But Blueberry. So all it is he made a synth engine that means you can make instruments out of like a small set of parameters. So you can tweak those parameters to make the sounds, and then so you don't have the samples in the boot block, obviously, because they'd be too big. So all it is just a collection of these a small collection of these little parameters for a synthesizer engine, and then it generates those sounds. So you can write the music with all of the sounds in, and then the Protracker file goes into a converter, which then just basically strips out everything that you don't need. So all you're left with is basically the one pattern, which is the music, and the set these little tiny pieces of information to generate the sounds. And then when you fire it up, it goes through and just basically rebuilds it into memory for you. And an additional trick we did with that is, because it's only one pattern of information in Protracker, so it actually only loops once, is we've got like a muting and unmuting function that happens. So the whole pattern is always running the whole time, but we only let certain channels play at certain times, so it makes it sound like the tune's longer than it actually is.
That's incredible. I mean, so it's amazing that it's actually doing synthesization, because whenever I think of Amiga, I think of samples, right? So like when I think of the SID chip on the Commodore 64, I know that's a chip that's actually generating the sound and not just playing a sample. So you guys kind of take that logic in a way and apply it to you're making a program that builds itself. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's basically it. So you take all of the you take the principles that we'd use in a real-time synthesis, or synthesis on a SID chip or whatever, and you boil that down into code that you've then got a platform where you can make sounds, and then that just boils down to just a set of parameters and a small chunk of code to then recreate that sound for you.
That's amazing. I would love to one day get into it and like really see like a behind the scenes of how that whole process works. That's so cool. How many bytes were left unused in the 1K? That's hilarious. That's a good question.
So this was a good one, actually, because there's a term known in the demo scene known as a byte hunt. And it's where you're looking for the last few bytes to get it within the size limit. When you're talking about the sizes with from like 8, 4, and 1K, when you're in that bracket, you will end up with a serious byte hunt. You are looking for the last couple of bytes to get rid of, and this was no exception. Everything, like Blueberry had got it all working, the music was in, everything was working, but he had 3 bytes to find to fit it into the boot block.
Oh my god.
And he was there, basically just spent like a good half of the day at the party just shifting data around and moving it around and then putting it through the compressor again, going, no, I haven't got it yet, shift some more data around. Because obviously, when it goes through the compressor, the order of the data will then affect the result that you get. So he was just shifting the data around, moving stuff, optimizing stuff, and pulling stuff together. And sometimes it would go up, sometimes it would go down. And he just spent like a whole day. And then there was just this one moment where he just went, "I've got it!" And I was like, "You've got the last byte, yes."
That is hilarious. I can't imagine how that feels. That's hilarious. I can't. It's blowing my mind that you guys are dealing with like literally bytes, on a boot block on an Amiga floppy disk. So was that your first collaboration with Blueberry?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's right. So we worked on that. But yeah, we became really good friends off of the back of that. I wasn't really coding that much at that point. I think we'd done PT 1210, so I'd done a bit, but I just kind of pushed myself to do more and more coding ever since. Particularly now we're getting into stuff like size restricted stuff, because it really helps to be able to have an understanding of that stuff. See, it's the first time I'd worked with Blueberry, so that's how we met. Trying to think if we'd met before that, but no, I think it was that he'd messaged me, I think, because he's one of the Danish guys. Because I met a lot of the people from Focus Design were from Denmark, so I'd met and kind of knew him through them, and then he just got in touch with me saying, "Oh, I see you're going to Datastorm. I've got this synth that I can fit into a boot block. Do you want to have a go with it?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I just." Sounds like a fun challenge.
Yeah, and the results were really good. Yo, what's up, Retro Ralph and Dancing Wolf? So the next one I want to show it may be my favorite one by you. It's also with Blueberry. I think maybe someone asked before. I think it was DJ Ness what my favorite Hoffman track is. It's so hard to decide, but if I'm gonna pick one, I might pick Every Way. So can you tell us, this one came out a couple of years ago, and it is another collaboration with yourself and Blueberry. You guys were rich in this one, because it wasn't 1K, you had 60. This is a 64K intro. Wow.
Yeah, you can fit so much in 64K. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I know we say that it's a collaboration with, I think Blueberry helped out with some bug fixing, but so it's done in a system called Rose, which is effectively a programming language that Blueberry created.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Which is insane. But so Rose is it's a language which uses only 4-letter words, and it's what's known as a turtle system. So a turtle is like it's a point on screen. And it can face a certain direction, it can move, and it can draw, it can change a size, it can draw basically a circle or a square at a certain size or color. But the thing about it is that if you create one turtle to say move in a circle and draw circles like this, you can do what's known as fork them. So you can spawn another turtle to say, well, I'm going to do the same thing, but I want you to turn 90 degrees this way, so you then end up with 2 of them kind of drawing that way. But the real beauty of Rose as a system is that you can just do it on a Windows PC with a text editor, and you can, and basically if you've written the music, you can render that down to a WAV file, plug that into the system, and then you've got a system where you can keep playing with ideas. You can change stuff. You can add. You can just basically go to town with it, and you don't need to touch the Amiga at any point. And it's really quick. So if I make a change to the file, it reloads it instantly and jumps straight to the point where I already was, and you can move through it and all this kind of stuff. So it's like, in terms of getting your ideas down, there's no blockers. You can just get straight in there. You can virtually anyone could use it with even a small modicum of programming knowledge. If you know kind of how a loop works, then you can probably do a demo in rows. So you can just do all of that inside your Windows PC. You can do all that, and then every time you do it, it generates just like the small binary data that you need to then play back effectively your animation on an Amiga. And actually, the system's designed for 4 kilobyte intros.
Wow.
So it's super tiny. It's really tiny. So I used it for a 64K, which meant I had no size restrictions on how much run script I had, but then also had like a good 60 odd kilobytes for music. So
that's brilliant. It's so funny. Rose sounds like it reminds me of when I was programming on my Atari 800. I did BASIC, and I did a programming language called Logo, and it moves a little turtle around the screen, and you could draw pictures.
It's very, very similar.
Cool.
To that. It's very similar.
You literally had a turtle. It was literally a turtle on the screen that would draw pictures.
Yeah. That's why it's exactly the same thing. It's a turtle graphics engine. So yes, it's basically like Logo, in that respect. Also, this was I'd done a few experiments as we were talking about the synthesizing of sounds, like we did for the boot block. So I'd done some more experiments in doing things like that. And this for Everyway was the first time I'd really kind of dug into that quite deeply, and made synthesizer engines and all this other stuff to like really bulk up the music even more. So I think I've forgotten how big it is now. I think it's about 300 and something kilobytes the music file is for this, but obviously we're fitting all of that into 64K. So there's like a mix of there's quite a lot of samples, but not loads, and then all this other stuff on top to generate things like the bass sounds and the chords and all that kind of stuff.
So you're running it through the compressor. So you start out with that 350K, and you're compressing that down to fit into the 64K. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the thing that really blows my mind about this, we're gonna play it off my real Amiga. This is one that my Amiga can easily handle. The thing that's really amazing is that, like the audio quality is like CD quality audio. Like it doesn't sound like a typical old school Amiga file. Like to me it sounds like I'm listening to a CD. It's amazing. So let's switch over to my Amiga. Boom. There we go. Okay, and let me switch so I can see it on my screen. And we'll fire up Everyway by H0ffman. This is one of my all-time favorites. I love this one, and you're gonna want to turn it up. You're gonna want to turn it way up for this one. dude. I mean, that's just out of absolute control. I mean, I might go as far as to say it's my favorite demo of all time. It's simple, it's effective, and one of the important things there in the credits. So you did both the visuals and the music.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
as I said, Blueberry made the Rose engine, and I think it's the first time actually that I'd gone out and thought. I always wondered whether I could actually make a demo. When you look at other demos, that there's like a level of direction and coherence to it, and I always wondered, am I biting off more than I can chew here? Can I do it? But I just I kind of went for it and just thought, well, I'll just make it. I'll do what I understand, which is it's the kind of the heart of it being the music, and then just getting it to kind of thrive off of that. So I was just so pleased with the results afterwards.
It's so good. I absolutely love it. It's just perfect. Like the visuals go with the music so well, and it's really amazing. Like I don't really need a fancy demo to make something that's extremely effective and just hits home, man. It's like the music combined. Those visuals are simple but effective and beautiful, and the sync with the music is just stunning, man. It's just it all works together so well, and you have this one cohesive piece that's just an absolute beautiful artwork. I think I'd go as far as to say it's one of my all-time favorite demos, man. Congrats. That is just awesome. So that's a hard act to follow. Every way is a hard act to follow. But you followed it like pretty darn successfully with the next one that is very, very similar. It takes it maybe even a notch up. This is Way Too Rude. Now, Hoffman, something very, very nice just came in the mail, I believe. Yes. So let me make this you full screen here. This is look at that, beautiful. That is amazing. That is amazing, man. Congratulations. So go ahead.
This is what you get if you're in the if you do enter a competition at Revision. This is what you get if you're in the top 3. I've got a couple more downstairs. But this one is it's quite special for me actually, because not only because I poured such a ridiculous amount of effort into this one, but you've obviously heard of Lemon and
Sure.
their demos, particularly
Classic.
from the 90s. So when they formed, I think I was 14 at the time, and I looked up to them as like one of the top demo groups. And I think if you told my 14-year-old self that you'd be going shoulder to shoulder against Lemon in 2020 and just pip them to the post, I'd be like, nah, no way.
Well, I love Lemon. They're incredible. They're some of my favorites as well. But that award is extremely, extremely well deserved, man. Like I'm telling you, when I think of Demoscene, man, you're like the first one that comes to my mind. I'm such a big fan, and this one is extremely, extremely well deserving. Their demo was amazing as well.
Really good.
But this Way Too Rude, it brought home first place. It's very deserving. I didn't know if I have to reboot the Amiga, but I always like to clear my memory between demos because sometimes it gets a little funky. My Amiga's rebooting right now.
It's a good idea too with an Amiga,
yeah. But yeah, huge congrats to Hoffman. That's it's awesome. So on Way Too Rude, was it? Now you did this one, which another we're gonna get into soon is Logicoma. This is a Logicoma production, right? So did you do both the music and the visuals for this as well?
So I did. So this one kind of born out of. So when it gets to kind of the end of the year, I start thinking about what I might want to do for Revision the following year. So I start thinking about things like around December. What am I going to do? So in this year I was like, right, I want to finish redoing my synth engine for the Amiga. I want it to be like tooled up so that it's super easy to use, and I can, and so that was the first thing was I was going to do a new synth engine in December, and I figured if I get it kind of up and together by I don't know, February time, then I'll do a follow up to Every Way. I thought, it's fine if we can get that work done, then we'll do that. And then kind of it all kind of come together, and Farfar, who's in Focus Design and the Danish Underpants Brigade, or Dub for short, which is a great group name, had shown me some bits and pieces that he'd been doing in the Rose engine as well, which I really liked. So I tapped him up and went, look, I'm doing this intro. I'm doing it in rows. Do you want to join in? I know obviously you've got some experiments and stuff. So he was like, yeah. So he sent me all of his row scripts that he'd done, and then built up a few other bits and pieces along the way. So I started incorporating those in. And whilst we were having this conversation, Blueberry came in and was like, "Oh, I see you guys are playing with it. I kind of want to see what you're working on." So, like, joined him into the Google Drive share that we were doing with all the stuff. Is like, "Oh, this is really interesting," and then built a bunch of new features onto the Rose engine for us to make life easier.
Wow.
I was like, "All right, this is great." And then like I think it was like about 4 days before the party, and I was starting to get a bit short on like ideas and stuff. He was like, "Well, it's all right. I'll write you some Rose scripts as well." So he like chipped in some additional Rose scripts as well. So like visually, it was quite collaborative. Although I was kind of, I guess you could call the point man on the whole project. So I did a lot of the work and had everything kind of pulling together. But there's a lot of bits that Farfar have done that are integrated in, like the Japanese characters. And the revision logo and some of the background bits and stuff, and then Blueberry came up. I think it was like I think the night before the party came up with the greet section, which was just phenomenal. And the first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh, thank goodness!" Like he's put like the perfect section in there. But yeah, so it was really down to the wire as well, because the first time it had been an online party because of obviously everything that's been going on, and everything was in place. We had like I think it was a Friday night was like a hard deadline of midnight. Like if you do not have your releasing by midnight, you are not in the competition. And usually at a party, when you're there in person, you can kind of
Tweak.
elbow your way like, "Oh, I forgot to give you there in person. You can wrangle it a bit." And we got to about, I think it was 1:45.
Oh my God.
Bearing in mind that I'd been doing like serious crunch 3 days or 4 days before, staying up until like 3 o'clock in the morning and getting up, like just to get it done. And I think we were about 10 minutes. I think it was about 10 minutes before the deadline. And I was running it on the 600, and every time it hit the greeting section, it crashed. I was just like,
oh no.
and I was like, "We're hitting it too hard. There's too much going on there." And Blueberry's like, "I'll reduce it down a bit." And I was like, "Right, there's nothing else we can do now apart from upload it broken and put a comment in saying, 'Don't worry, we're nearly there.'"
Oh my.
And I got a message back. I can't remember what it said now, but it was just like, "Okay, well, I've got your entry now. So yeah, hurry up and upload your finished version." And then I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was just and I'd run it on the 600, and it's like, it's all working. I'm uploading the final, it's done. And then I think I just like, because you'd been working on it for so long, I then stayed up for another 2 hours just watching it on loop, just going. We've made this thing now. I'm just going to watch it a bunch of times. I think I should really go to bed. I'm really tired, but I'll just watch it a couple more times just to make sure everything's all right. And yeah, so that's it was the first time I'd ever come into so much kind of crunch in terms of making a production, and it was hard work, really hard work, but a lot of fun.
I can't imagine. I didn't know that backstory. That's incredible, dude. I'm so happy you made the deadline, and congrats on the big win. We're gonna check out Way Too Rude now. Yo, Acel, thank you so much for a subscription, Acel. Acel is the main man here in the United States for Amiga repair. Man, he saved more Amigas than anyone in this country. It's incredible. Recaps and
deserves a salute. Yeah.
Yes, we salute you, Acel. Thank you for the sub, and thank you so much for keeping the Amigas alive. Most importantly, thank you so much. All right, let me go over to my Amiga here. Now I'm like, all right, I hope it won't crash on the credits. No, it's not gonna. It's gonna be butter. That's awesome. I can't wait, dude. Way Too Rude, man. This is first place winner, revision 2020 in the Amiga intro compo, 64K, Logicoma and Loonies. Here we go, baby. It's Air Yuri's tune-up tune. Let's go. Dude, oh man, congratulations. That is just, I was saying how much I love Every Way, and I hadn't seen Way Too Rude in a long time, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. Congratulations. First place winner, Revision 2020 Amiga Intro Compo, and extremely, extremely well deserved. Congratulations, Hoffman. That's incredible.
Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. That was just, I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. The sync is just out of control. Like, how do you do the sync?
All by hand via scripting in the Rose engine. So the music is written on what's known as a V-blank interrupt. As you know, every time that it draws the screen, there's like a thing that triggers in the Amiga. So the music is basically locked to the screen refresh. So I know that every beat is X number of frames. So all the sync is then based on just making sure you've got the numbers right, so it draws stuff at the right time. But as I said, with the Rose engine, because it's something that you can edit and then spin back and forth and stuff, it makes that process a lot easier than it would be if you just had like raw code and stuff. So yeah, that's how that's just. I mean, I it's the thing that I like to do most of all, because it gives you a feel good factor, doesn't it, when stuff kind of reacts to the music in that way.
Absolutely. Oh, totally. I mean, it connects the visuals to the audio, because they're all in sync with each other and they're just perfectly connected. Game Too Late says heart, man, gives you the heart. Well done. That's a 50 hertz, right? Because I'm playing on my PAL 1200.
Yeah.
But I am broadcasting at 60 hertz just because I'm an NTSC and all my cameras are 60 hertz. So I don't know what happens there. I'm not sure how. So something not right happens there. But my Amiga is running at 50 hertz and I'm capturing at 50 hertz. But it's not the same.
Funny enough, it looks really smooth on the stream anyway. So
perfect.
I'm not sure. Some magic's happening somewhere.
Yeah. So I broadcast at 60 frames per second because all my cameras, like I said, are NTSC. So so I take it you're the Logicoma in that collaboration. Is that correct?
Yeah. See, in terms of deciding, so as we explained, in kind of the way the production came together was just, kind of fairly organic. I'd started doing something, Farfar joined in, Blueberry joined in, and then we were, wondering whether it was, just a bit of a mess around or whatever. But then, like, when the end result came out, we were like, well, let's just put both of our groups' names on it. It's just, and that's how things can kind of transpire sometimes. You think, oh, I'm just having a mess around, I might not put the stamp on it, so to speak. But then, when you look back and go, well, actually, let's just put our names on this or whatever. So you can kind of, when you're doing something creatively, if it's not going as well as you'd hoped, then you could still put it out there, but just put a different name against it if you wanted to. But that's just how these things kind of pan out, really.
I want to get into Logicoma. I was actually gonna get into them next, but I realized there's one demo that I have to mention, and I think everyone's gonna want to see it because it is, as far as I'm concerned, I said Every Way is my favorite demo of all time, but this is right up there with it. I don't know, maybe this is my favorite demo of all time. I don't know, it's certainly one of my favorites of modern times. But one of my personal favorite demo groups, growing up watching demos with the Amiga, is the Black Lotus, and I think they are one of the top, if not the top Amiga demo group. They're just incredible. I always look forward to their stuff. Whenever Black Lotus drops something, it kind of blows my mind. And Eon certainly blew my mind. It's a really very extremely special demo, and I liked what you were saying before. I was wondering, like, what comes first, the visuals or the music, or do you work together? Yo, Virtual Dimensions, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Virtual Dimensions viewers. If you're just joining the stream, this is a special one. You're in for a treat, man. I'm talking to the one and only DJ H0ffman, legend of the Amiga community, Demoscene extraordinaire, winner at Revision 2020, winner at Revision 2019 with Eon, which we're going to check out in a second. But Eon is from the Black Lotus. H0ffman did the music. Do you want to give us just a little bit of background on how Eon came to be?
I'd hung out with Daniel, aka Emu, at a couple of parties, actually it was Booster, who we were talking to about earlier in Focus Design, that basically just sat us next to each other at a party in Denmark once, and we just got chatting about various bits and pieces, about coding and music and all this kind of stuff, and then I think it was about 4 or 5 years before the release of the demo, he tapped me up and said, look, I'd like to do a demo with you doing your music. It's the first time the Black Lotus would have been doing an Amiga 500 demo for a very long time. So yeah, we'd like to get you on board. So that was like the initial, and then he joined me into their Slack channel. Slack's, I don't know if you use it, but it's like a lot of developers use it for collaborating and stuff. So I kind of joined the channel, and then we talked about stuff, and kind of, as we were talking about earlier, how a demo that big needs someone who's effectively taking point as being the director. So they will have the vision, they will create mood boards, and then it just kind of grows from that. So you end up with almost like a movie production kind of ethic, except obviously the tools that you're using, in your end medium is an Amiga 500 computer. So that's how that all kind of builds up. So just an interesting little fact that you may not know: the dancing scene is all done with actual motion capture. So there's someone who did a performance for that for that data to happen.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. It's to me a dancing polygon woman is the trademark to Black Lotus demos. They all crescendo with a dancing polygon woman, and this one's no exception. But I wonder, does any footage exist of that behind the scenes, that motion capture? That'd be cool.
If it does, it's kept well under lock and key, I think.
Oh, okay. Because I there is footage out there of Spaceballs, doing nine fingers. Yeah, it's awesome to see that stuff. It's so cool. So I'm actually the 3 demos I just played. The 2 demos I just played, Every Way and Way 2, are both on your vinyl. Right, they're both on your vinyl release. I know Every Way is and so is Black Lotus Eon, which is playing right now on the turntable. If you're wondering what that is, if you're just joining the stream, if you're a raider, H0ffman is got a new album out. It's called The Cave Sessions. It's a collaboration he did with the Retro Man Cave YouTube channel, amazing YouTube channel. It's a 2-disc vinyl set. The initial print was 250 copies, and today H0ffman has just announced that he and Retro Man Cave are going to print another 250. And I highly recommend you go purchase this. This is one of my favorite possessions, man. If you do ! Vinyl in the chat like H0ffman just did, you can go order it. And it's a masterpiece. It's a gorgeous. The packaging is gorgeous and top notch. The sound quality on the vinyl is just amazing and top notch. One of the things I wanted to do, I wanted to sync the vinyl with Eon. Yeah, I want to play it on my Amiga and sync it up with the vinyl. I was thinking about doing that for the opening of the show, and this has just been a crazy week at work, and I didn't have time. But I'm gonna do it at some point. And so I think without further ado, I think we need to play Eon. Let me pause this. It's I hate stopping the song. And even though we're about to watch it again. Oh, thank you, Oram. Oram heard of demos back in the day, but never got into them until he started watching my streams. That's awesome to hear, Oram. Thank you. For me, demos are just amazing because I'm an artist myself, so I love music videos. I make music videos as well, and I love tech, obviously, and so I can appreciate the hard work that goes into them. So demos are awesome. All right, let's. Oh, Rom, you can't wait to get your copy? Nice, dude. All right, I'm going to fire up Eon by the Black Lotus. First place winner in the demo competition in Revision 2019. The thing that blows my mind about this, besides it being like a cinematic demo masterpiece, is that it runs on an Amiga 500. So I'm pretty sure I took this. I think I might have taken this capture from my Amiga 500 Plus before it bit the dust, and I spliced 2 together. Like for the disc swap, I spliced 2 different versions together so I could make that smooth transition. But I would love to any 7 I would love to do that. I absolutely would love to do that. I'm actually in a little demo group myself, not little, but it's called The Lost Underground with my man Aztalk Dog, who's in chat, and the plan is I'll do some graphics for them as well. So let me you inspired me, H0ffman. You and all the folks in Demoscene inspire me, and now that you're talking about Rose, that's actually something I feel like I actually could try and like make something with it. I don't know what, but yeah, you're inspiring me. But let me play Eon by the Black Lotus. I'm going full screen here. This one deserves some full screen action. If you want to take a little break, H0ffman, I'm just gonna play Eon at full volume, and it's gonna be great. Dude, ridiculous, amazing. That's one of the greatest demos released recently. That's just absolutely incredible. I'm playing on the vinyl right now too. Oh, that was awesome, dude. Congratulations on that big win, you and the Black Lotus. That's it's a masterpiece. A masterpiece.
No, it's real. It was hard work working on that. But it was well worth it just to watch it all kind of come together over. I mean, they were working with them on it for about 4 years. I mean, it wasn't continuous, you know, but it takes a long time to build a lot of the tech that they made just for this demo, and they've only used it once for this demo. A lot of this stuff. But yeah, it's really fun to kind of see that progress and work with them on it. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for everyone because they're a hard bunch.
For the Black Lotus, yeah. I mean, you know what's so funny, because a lot of the real masters are not easy to work with. I've worked with some super incredibly talented people, in my business, and sometimes they're very demanding. But sometimes what that happens in that case, though, it may not be the most pleasant experience, but they kind of push you to do your absolute best, And
yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't say it was in any way, shape unpleasant, but it was hard, But I really appreciated that the strive to try and get it as best as it possibly could, which is there's the same level of effort that I put into stuff that I do for myself anyway. So if you got to try and hit the top note if you can. So.
Yeah, you sure did. It's a stunning demo. One of my favorites. It's incredible, and everyone's saying it sends chills down their spine. Some of the folks in the chat were there in person and saw it. They said it was incredible. I just want to give a shout. Yo, Acel, thank you so much for the tip. I need to integrate my PayPal into the Twitch notifications. I'm sorry about that, but Acel, thank you so much for the tip. If anyone needs their Amiga repaired, man, like Acel is the main man in the United States. He's incredible. Acel, I think Acel's got a Twitch channel too. Acel, whatever you want to like throw down into the chat, go for it. I mean, you're amazing. Thank you so much for keeping the Amiga alive like you do, like literally keeping them alive. Vulture X, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that very, very much. The Treasy, thank you so much for the sub, Treasy. I appreciate that very much. Everyone who subscribes to my channel gets, of course, ad-free viewing, the emojis, but then you get the Amiga Build goodie bag, man. The Amiga Build goodie bag is like a list of all the links that I drop into the chat during the stream. Anything that I can like legally distribute, I give to you guys in the goodie bag. I'll give you guys a recording of a demo. I really appreciate all the support, everyone. Thank you. And I really appreciate you coming on today, H0ffman. You're amazing. I'm having an absolute blast. We still have a little bit of time left. You've already given me so much time. I really appreciate it. But there's still just like 2 or 3 more things I would love to show the folks who may not be as familiar with this because these are not Amiga demos. Mm-hmm. These are with a demo group that you're in right now called Logicoma. There you go. You got the t-shirt on. I love it. There's the logo. Perfect.
Oh, the hat's not here. The hat's downstairs.
I need to get one of those shirts because I'm a huge Logicoma fan. Logicoma, you know, I'm going to show Reclamation. I'm also going to show a couple of the PC demos. And you know, to be honest, I never was into PC demos. Like, I'm an Amiga demo guy. I love the Amiga demos. I love seeing what people can do and to push the hardware to the max. Like, for example, Eon. I mean, it's unbelievable that works on an Amiga 500. But when I started seeing some of the Logicoma demos on the PC, I was just like, huh, these are awesome. I'm like, I absolutely love them. They're so freaking cool. So I want to show a couple of, whoops, sorry, I bumped my slider there. I want to show a couple of the Logicoma PC demos, but first, this is a really unique one, and I've never seen anything like it before. It's called Reclamation, and I don't know what the proper term for it is, but like when you're in Pro Tracker and you actually see like the scroll of all of the notes and the samples that are being played, you guys actually take that and do some amazing artwork with it. I know it's hard to describe, but do you want to give us a little preface to Reclamation?
Yeah, so this is from the revision track music compo from 2018, and it's a compo that I'd been competing in for a bunch of years between 2011 to 2014-15, I think. A lot of the tracks from the album are actually from the revision track music competitions, so entries that I'd put into there. I came up with this idea of I'd done pattern data with some animations at the party before, but for this one I picked XM or Fast Tracker 2, which is a PC tracker, and that can have up to like 32 or 64 channels rather than just 4, and the pattern sizes can be massive. So I wondered whether we could get away with doing like basically full animations whilst they were showing them. So it's as you know, there's a program called XM Play, which plays modules, XM and the rest of it. And I knew that they would use this to display the tune whilst it was playing in the competition. And it's been a kind of common thing for people to do animations. So I spent a couple of months building a routine that would take like still PNG images and then render them into the pattern information.
Oh my gosh.
And shout out to Ferris Stream Stuff, who's now in the channel. If you are interested in coding and crazy stuff like that, go and check out his channel. He's been streaming on and off for quite a few years now. Crazy stuff. He's built a Virtual Boy emulator. He's currently building his own platform in FPGA. So I'd kind of made the music and the tools to do everything, and then we arrived at the party without any actual visuals yet. So on the Friday afternoon, we kind of sat next to each other, and then I said, right, this is your screen size. can you do some stuff with it? And then he just like quickly like coded together some like effects and then output them to PNG, and then we just like the whole project just like came together like in like the last moments of the day. Like, all right, we're there now. Oh, it looks good. Let's enter it. So yeah, so like arriving at the party, we didn't have a release, and then like within about 5 hours of sitting next to each other, we were like, well, here we go. There we go. It's all done. So
it seems like all your demos come down to the wire. But just getting to Ferris stream stuff, I'm a huge Ferris fan, and Ferris, I've popped into your streams before, and you may have seen me, chat every now and then. But dude, I can like look into your eyes and tell you I'm a huge Ferris fan. Like, I love Ferris. I love Logicoma. You guys are incredible. Like, again, you guys transformed me into a PC demo lover. when there's a new PC demo like by Logicoma, I'm like, oh my god, it just blows my mind. We're gonna look at a couple of them, like traditional like demos. They're amazing. And Ferris is like, he is ridiculously smart and talented. He is a technical wizard, but he also does like visually, like his visuals are stunning. I think he does some of the music too, if I'm not mistaken. Like, that's what I don't understand with you guys. How are you so talented? Like, how can you be such great artists and great technicians at the same time? I'm jealous. Yeah, cheers to you, Ferris, man. I'm a huge fan of you and Logicoma. And so it's you. So it's Hoffman, Ferris, and Wobble, correct?
So on this one, yeah. So I did the music for this. Ferris did the animations, and Wobble did some of our still image stuff.
I had no idea that you incorporated PNGs into it. That's how you got it. That's awesome. Let me pause the vinyl for a second. Love it. So I'm gonna load it. It might take a little. It might take a second here for me to get the screen size correct. But I'm gonna play an XM player. So this is not a video recording. This is the actual demo playing in the XM player. Oh, good. I have it all ready to go.
If you're in 1080p, then it should work fine. Yeah. Actually, if you right click it, you go screen.
Oh,
right click.
Love it.
Display.
Thanks, Hoffman. I want to start it again because I want to. I don't know if the volume is turned up properly. It sounds low to me. Let me just. I could be wrong about that. Let me bring up my XM player. I just want to see where the volume's at. Oh no, we're good. We're good. All right, I'm gonna start it again though. Sorry about that, Hoffman. It's just the way I'm monitoring it. It sounded a little bit low to me. I want to make sure it's not low. So let me move this out of the way. I'm still learning how to use the XM Play. I'm still learning. I'm a hippo player guy. All right, here we go. Full screen, maximum volume. Here we go.
What I like about this is that demo tradition of having a progress bar.
Yep, there you go.
We're totally faking it.
Dude, that is ridiculous, Hoffman. I mean, I when I saw that, I was like, "What?" And then, of course, and then, I mean, it's amazing the whole way through, and then it's just it just goes nuts. Yo, our archive. Oh, Archie Video Santilio, thank you so much for the raid. Mekit Mangus, thank you so much for the sub. Last time you subbed, I played this too. I guess this is my lucky thing to play. Bad Coffee, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate all the support very, very much, everyone. If you're just joining the stream, we are with Hoffman. He is a legend in the Amiga Demoscene community. Legend in the Demoscene community. We've gone through a whole Hoffman retrospective today. We are talking about his brand new vinyl album. We announced that there's going to be a second pressing of it, so 250 copies are going to be pressed. If you want a copy of this record, this is a double record, do !vinyl in the chat, and you won't be disappointed, man. We've been listening to the vinyl all day as well on my turntable. It's been a great time. B770D9, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. That was amazing, Hoffman. That was just incredible. And kudos to Ferris as well. That was just amazing. You guys blow me away. I don't know what else to say.
I think Ferris will remember this as well. Like, because when we're at revision, like the tables are basically, you end up kind of sitting opposite someone. And I can't remember what the guy's name was now. It's going to bug me that, but we were kind of having a bit of a chat over the table, because you do when you're at revision, you kind of the social aspect. I mean, I think like the social aspect of a demo party is a thing that really like pulled me in and kept me there really. Once you've been to a demo party and you meet people and chat to them, it's just amazing. And I just remember the last effect you see at the end of that is what's known as the plasma. You've probably seen a plasma in a bunch of demos before. But I just remember having a chat we were kind of chatting with him over the table, and so what are you guys working on? And Ferris just turned around and went, a shitty plasma. and then the next morning, like the tracked music compo came on, and he was like, and then we saw him later and says, oh, I saw your shitty plasma.
Oh, that's hilarious. So shitty. That's awesome. Yeah, I really missed that. I really missed that a lot. Like I said, it's cool. Like some of the folks here in the States are starting to do demo parties as well. We have some folks from Poland who fly over to help us with the one at MagFest every year. Like Argasek and Faye, they do the Riverwash demo party. They did the Riverwash demo party in Poland. They come over to help, and Aceman as well. Aceman comes over, and they help us to do a proper demo party in the U.S. There's a few demo parties coming up in the States, and there's nothing like getting together in person. Like it's like things like that, like you were just talking about, sitting across from the table from someone. That's you don't get that online. I love the online aspect. Like I meet friends from all over the world. I met you thanks to being online, but there's nothing like getting together in person, watching demos, partying, having some beers together. I miss that, and I can't wait to get back to that. FX Node, thank you so much for the follow, FX Node. I appreciate it. If you're new to my streams, I'm Bill. I stream every Sunday here, 2 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UTC. Amiga stuff every Sunday, man. And I play new games, I play old games, but my favorite thing to do is to have guests on. I have guests on to talk about their new games they're making or talk about their classic game. Today we are joined by DJ Hoffman, Demoscener extraordinaire. We did a whole Hoffman retrospective about all the stuff he did with Amiga. We just saw an amazing demo called Reclamation that he did with the group he's currently in called Logicoma. And now I want to show. Thank you, Retro Gaming Denmark. You're too kind. I got hooked in, man. I got hooked in. Speaking of revision and getting together. I want to show Dope on Wax. It's a stunning demo. Now I'm not gonna play this from my PC. I'm nervous because I don't know how many resources it taxes, and I'm using the same PC to stream. I'm a little bit nervous, so I did a screen recording of it. I'm happy with the screen recording. I hope you and Ferris and Wobble are as well. But I did the best I could. So tell us a little bit, you guys. So I know, like I said, like I was only into Amiga demos. That's all I cared about. I did like Commodore 64 demos too, a couple Atari 8-bits here and there, but Amiga demos where it's at. And I was just like, a PC, like how can you make a PC demo interesting? PCs can do anything. So what I'm curious about, tell me a little bit about Dope on Wax, and also I'm really curious because the cool thing about Amiga demos, one of the cool things is like you're working with this old hardware, and you have to work within all these limitations. And when I think of modern PCs, man, I think of like real-time ray tracing and all the stuff that I just dreamed about, back in '87 when I got in my. Couldn't even dream about it when I got my Amiga in '87. So, like, how do you approach like a modern PC demo, and how do you make it look cool? Like, do you give yourself parameters to work under? Do you give yourself some limitations? Now I know Dope on Wax is 64 kilobytes. I assume that's one of the limitations.
Yeah. So I mean, there is that as a limitation. I think that's for us in particular. I think that's our kind of sweet spot, is having the 64K limitation, because in terms of the processing power that you have within a PC, I don't want to sound like I'm being bad on demos, because I love demos. I don't care what the size of them are, really. A good demo is a good demo when it's it's artistic and it's evocative, and it makes you feel something. I love that. It's art. It's art to be enjoyed. But I think in terms of the technicalities of it, when you've got that kind of resource, it's you have that resource. It's not like the old school stuff where you don't. But I think for us in terms of the 64K stuff, I mean, Ferris is effectively point man in terms of visuals on most of the Logicoma stuff. But, in the 64K realm, that's he knows what he's doing.
Sure does. I've seen his streams.
But again, it's an incredibly collaborative thing that we're doing. So he'll have an idea of he'll be. I think with Ferris in particular, he's very tech driven. Like, if it's something that he's not done before, that's the stuff that interests him. So it's like, there's a rendering technique that I've not tried before. Let's see if we can do that rendering technique in 64K and make it look nice. And he's built all the tools up for the 64Ks that we do, or we can use it as a demo system. But it's built up. I love the name of it. It's called Demotivation, right? Which is, but it's the words demo and motivation.
Hilarious.
Right, but when you put them together, it's Demotivation, which is the greatest name. Like, naming stuff is like a big thing in Logicoma. We like to make stuff. We like to give stuff cool names. Ferris is generally point man because it'd be something that he's exploring technically. But then he'll give us like an idea of what he wants it sonically to be like. But then he can do that side of it and does do that side of it. But we'll generally leave it up to like myself and Wobble to take the strain on that, because we can do all of that stuff, which frees him up to like focus on the visual aspect of it.
It's amazing. It's a great way to collaborate, divide and conquer. But Ferris is the point man. I guess he's like the director and he's the cinematographer in a way. And
I mean, we got to give a massive shout out to Wobble as well. He works a lot with Ferris in terms of the direction as well. So he will he'll work with distributed role, exactly, Ferris. Yes, a distributed role. So I mean, I we all chip into it, but a Wobble should get a lot more credit than he does for his input into making sure that the demos are looking the way that they do, in terms of shots and timing and all that kind of stuff. So he works a lot with Ferris on that kind of side.
It's truly a true collaboration between all three of you. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I would love to talk to Wobble one day too. He seems like a really cool guy. Ferris says Dope on Wax was the tech exploration was mesh compression and compute shaders.
Yes.
Mesh compression and compute shaders. I get to, when Ferris streams stuff, I learn a lot, and there's a lot of stuff that's just like it's like way over my head, but I'm happy about it because I know that I have a lot to learn, and it's really exciting to learn from him. So that's super cool. All right. So now one thing with Dope on Wax, I think it helps the demo a little bit. It helps it a bit. Like I know Logicoma, and so I know the opening is is your logo, right? So I think knowing that it's the logo helps understand the demo a little bit. Do you want to show the logo there on your shirt? There you go. There it is. Perfect.
You just hit there. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I think that was a key thing when Logicoma was formed, is to give it a real identity, I think, and that really helps, I think, because you've got something that something that you can stamp in all of them, and then I don't know, it's just I think when I think the first thing we did was what was it called, Backscatter, which was just it was just Ferris mucking about a demo party with this synth engine that I'd used, and it became a I think it was a 40k demo that we ended up releasing there, and then off the back of that he gave it the name Logicoma. But I think the thing that really did it for me was obviously when I came back to the scene, I was like working with Focus Design and other groups, and they were all like established, but with Logicoma it felt like it was like our thing, like we built it ourselves. So it's just felt nice to kind of be invested in something and kind of create that thing as a unit together. It was really nice.
So how long have you guys been together?
That's a good question, Ferris.
Oh, if Ferris says Logicoma is a group I always wanted all my other groups to be. That's really awesome to hear, and I think you guys are knocking it out of the park. I can't wait to show this demo to the Amiga community, because it's I really appreciate this demo a lot, all your demos. I also love your DJ set at Revision. You guys did some awesome shows at Revision, and they were really cool. So let's fire up Dope on Wax. This was the winner best PC demo, Revision 2019. That's correct, right? 64K. Got you. 64K intro, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. Sorry about that. Let me go to, I guess I'll play a desktop. I'll just do a full screen with it. It's a 16, it's actually a little bit wider than 16:9, so I'll just go full screen with it. And if my saying, if you have a volume control knob, turn it all the way up to max, because this is just amazing. Dude, incredible. I gotta say, like at the end, I love it all, but at the end when like the credits come up and it has like it hits those notes, it gives me chills every single time. That is incredible. I love it. I love that demo so much. Congrats to you, Ferris and Wobble. That's stunning. It's 64K. Yep, 64K. Right, Comatron's asking. Right, it's amazing. Yo, Stone Cold Slasher Gaming, thank you for the follow, and Acel, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you, Acel. You're the best. I don't know. That just blows my mind. Now, just to put it in perspective, like my wife pops into my office a lot, and she sees me, like playing a modern game or something. She's like, "Oh, cool game, whatever." I was playing Elysium, and she walked in, and she was just like, "What is that?" And because my wife's an artist too, and I'm like, "You guys, this is amazing. It's these guys, Gelagicoma, they make these amazing demos." She's like, "Oh my god, this is just gorgeous. I absolutely love this demo." Well, she knows the demo. She's like, "I love this. Whatever it is, I love it." And so she's like a huge Logicoma fan now as well. And so she's got all like these art projects she wants to do. She's like, "Can you talk to your friends and see if they want to do something with me?" I'm like, so like you caught her attention, man. Like, she was just passing by and she was like, but yeah, Dope on Wax. That was amazing. I love everything about that demo. I love how it builds up the Logicoma logo. I love like those hits at the end with the credits. It's just amazing. I love the Venus statue with like the triangle behind it and like the pink light and it's reflecting in the water. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm such a fan. Yo, Ferris, thank you so much for the follow, Ferris. You rock, dude. And everyone needs to follow Ferris and Hoffman here on Twitch as well. Can I shout? Ferris stream stuff. Let's see. Out. Boom. There we go. I don't know, Hoffman. You're DJ Hoffman, right? Yeah, DJ Hoffman.
Twitch, I think so. Yeah, I a bit late.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's been far too long since I've done an Amiga DJ set on there, so I suspect I should have to book something in soon.
Oh, well, let me know, man. Let me know. I'll help you. I'll help you do whatever I can. Whatever I can do to help, I'm in. Ferris said that
you Sunday afternoons.
with that.
Just not on Sunday afternoon.
Oh yeah, right. Just well, I'll host you. Yeah, Ferris says that he and you started working together in 2013, and he started working with Wobble separately, and then as a group, Logicoma came together in 2015. But in spirit, it's really 2016 with Elysian.
Yeah.
Speaking of Elysian, I want to play it because it's I think this will be the last demo that we play of the stream. It's been an epic stream, and I really appreciate like all the time that you've given me, Hoffman. It's been awesome, dude. It's been awesome. I hope you enjoyed like taking a little Hoffman retrospective. I don't know if anyone's done that before, but I love your work so much. I want to like start from the beginning,
It's been fun, man. It's been really good.
Cool. I know everyone watching is having a blast too, and I really appreciate it. And that's why I really want to show this Logicoma stuff as well, because I think anyone who loves demos, any Amiga fan, like you're gonna appreciate these. And I was not into PC demo scene at all until I saw your stuff, and I was like, oh wow, that is so rad. So can you just give us a little bit of history about Elysian?
So Elysian was Ferris had been working on the tooling. So I think something that that happens when you are making demo productions is the thing to do is not to just write raw code, is to make tools to make your job easier. And again, as we were talking about, things like Rose, where it keeps those steps between changes much shorter. I think Blueberry had this brilliant comment where he said it can take 5 minutes. It can take 5 seconds for your creative spark to fizzle. So if you can take as many stops out of that process as possible to make your changes reflect as soon as possible, then that's the important thing to get. So Ferris had been working on this 64K tooling system, and we were heading to Tresac, which is a demo party in Denmark. Really great party, like proper party. Really good fun. And we were all heading to there. And it's like, right, we're gonna do a 64K. And I'd already used, so the synth engine we use for our 64Ks is one that Ferris built that I actually code on now, called Wave Saber, which is a brilliant system. where I can just use Ableton like I would do if I had a bunch of VST plugins, except the end result is something that we can fit in 64K. It's just absolutely crazy. We kind of bounced around some ideas in terms of music, and there's an album actually that I put in for our reference material for Elysian, which was an album called Seconds by H0ffman, which I highly recommend everyone listen to. And it was basically on heavy rotation within everyone from Logic Coma for the entire lead up to Elysian, which really kind of captures a lot of the atmosphere that the music resulted in. So we just so I kind of put together the music, and Ferris kind of like took that, and then I think it's one of those instances actually where the music was written first. I think we only did like a few minor changes to it, but then Ferris kind of ran with the soundtrack as it was, and then put visuals to it. Yeah, that's kind of how everything kind of fit together. And then I think we arrived at the party on the Friday, or myself, Ferris, and Wobble sat together. Kind of my job was done at this point when we arrived, so I started drinking. It
is a party.
And, it was mostly Ferris and Wobble that directed that and then took it over the line. But yeah, that was the first time we'd most fun sync session ever. Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah, and I just like dipping into it and just taking a look at what they were working on. I was just like, this is, I've got a really good feeling about this. So yeah, that's kind of the story behind how Elysian all came together.
Beautiful. I love it, Hoffman. And that's one of the things that really blows my mind, man. Like, not only do you guys like have like the artistic talent and the musical talent, and the coding talent, but you're literally you're creating your own programs to create the demo. I don't know if that really sinks in. I don't know if that really sunk into with people. Like, you guys are creating software to make these demos. Like, it's incredible. It's like it's like if you go out and mow your lawn, you guys are gonna create the lawnmower to mow the lawn. It's incredible.
Analogy, yeah, that's great.
It's amazing. Thank you, Smash 80. So yeah, and Ferris, just so you know, I was talking to Hoffman before. I'm very curious because I make music videos, like traditional music videos, and I was curious, like, what comes first? Does the music come first, and then you do the visuals to the music? Do you guys collaborate together? And so he answered all those questions. It was really cool to hear the different ways the demos come about. But let's check out Elysian by Logic Coma. What year did this come out?
2016, isn't it?
Great, perfect. Okay.
I think so.
I should have had that queued. I should have known that. Sorry about that. And I'm so glad, Ferris, you like my screen captures. I was so nervous about that. I wanted them to be good. What am I doing here? Desktop full screen. It's hot in here, man. I'm losing it. Oh man, here we go. Flag on the play, clicked on the wrong file. Sorry, guys. I told you it was getting hot in here. Hoffman, that was amazing, dude. Thank you so much. That was incredible, dude. Amazing. That one just that's the one that caught my wife's eye when she was walking by, and it's just so beautiful. The music is amazing. The visuals are amazing. I love it looks like it reminds me of a DNA helix that's turning, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, and then it and I love the fact that there's like you have the actual texture of the DNA helix itself, but then you have all this information going on like on the surface of it as well, like all these patterns going. It was so beautiful. It's so good. I love it. Oh man, that was just awesome. That was incredible. I guess my last I have two more questions before we wrap up the stream. I mean, these PC demos are awesome. I love them. I love the Amiga demos, and you're still doing both PC demos and Amiga demos. Do you have do you prefer one over the other, or do you like doing them both? Like, how does that work?
I like doing them both for different reasons. The PC stuff I like doing, particularly the 64K stuff, because it's restrictive, but at the same time it doesn't feel like it because of the tools that we've got to do it. The Wavesaber synth is a system that I just it was like a duck to water when I first used it, and a lot of credit to Ferris. Like he'd had that code hidden away, and it wasn't code that I was particularly comfortable in writing because it was C++, but he dragged me onto the project, I had lots of fun kind of imagining new bits that we could add, new tools that we could add to the belt of the synth, and some of those have been really helpful. So that's been like really in that respect that's been really fun. But on the Amiga side, it's there's a lot of invested in my heart for it, because it's a system that I grew up with. Again, there's a restriction there, because it's an old machine with 8-bit samples and only 4 channels. So I like to see how much I can push that as well. So kind of, I don't think there's one. I think the PC stuff's probably quicker to do, at least from my side on the music. But when you get onto the coding side, again, everything takes ages. So yeah, it's kind of, it's one of those where you don't really answer the question, because you kind of love them both equally, but for different reasons.
Beautiful. Well, I'm so happy that you're making demos for both platforms and enjoying it and giving us like amazing things to enjoy. And inspire, man. I'm telling you that these demos really inspire me. I listen to some of the Logical music, like I said, in my car, and some of the every way and way too, just all the time. It's just awesome. So, I mean, you've been doing this since the early 90s, as we saw earlier in the stream. What's next for DJ H0ffman? Anything?
At the moment, I'm currently doing something on the C64 just for a laugh. So there's a tune that me and Ferris did that was supposed to be for an executable music competition. So that's another type of category that you get a demo compo, where you have a 32K PC executable. So it's a little program. So again, all the compression, all the stuff that we would normally do, except you don't have a demo. It just plays music. I wrote this tune. We wrote this tune called Rubik for it, which is a firm favourite of mine. Actually, I just, there's something about that tune that I really like. So I'm just seeing how well it would translate into a C64, and it's going pretty well so far. Of what we do with it, I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. There's something else that Ferris is currently working on, a little thing for a very retro console. It's just, I think we're just having a bit of fun exploring some stuff there. So I wouldn't expect anything like groundbreaking or whatever, but we're having a tinker with an old system and seeing where that goes. In terms of Amiga, I've kind of I'm beavering away at, again, tooling at the moment, because obviously doing 2 demos with the Rose system means that the other coders in the Amiga scene are going, so are you actually going to code a demo? So I'm kind of working on the tooling for that at the moment. But obviously, you know, as seen already, is the key factor is sync. So you know, I need to build the tooling for that first before I can think about how the rest of that goes on. So yeah, there's definitely more Amiga stuff coming. When might be at Easter, I don't know. So I'm not making any promises yet.
Easter's a good time to drop it at revision. But yeah, I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
take your time and make it awesome. That's all we care. Because you know, we just remember the demo for years to come. So we don't remember how long it took to make it. So you know, so yeah, that's super exciting. I cannot wait to see what you do. I can't wait to see what you do with the Sid chip. That's gonna be. I would love to hear that song in Sid version. That's amazing. That'd be really, really cool. Dude, H0ffman it's been amazing today. Again, the impetus for this stream was the fact that H0ffman came out with his own record that he did with Retro Man Cave. It's called H0ffman The Cave Sessions. It is a double vinyl set. It's incredible. Today on the stream, he announced that they are doing a second pressing. So if you missed out on the original 250 pressing, they're making another 250. Get in on it now because it's gonna go, baby. Do exclamation mark vinyl in the chat, and there you go. You can go order it right there, and I highly recommend you do. It sounds great, it looks great, it's an amazing collector's item, and it's just awesome. So huge congrats to you, H0ffman, and you know, thanks a million for coming on the stream today. It's just been, I've had an absolute blast. This was so epic. It was amazing.
Thanks for inviting me, man. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, right on. And keep up the great work. Like I said, you guys really inspire me a lot. And yeah, man, you're crushing it. And I really appreciate all the work and effort you put into your demos and the retro community and now the PC community. It's just awesome, dude. 2 thumbs up.
Thanks, pal. Awesome.
Oh, sweet, dude. Oh, thank you, Ferris. I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm glad everyone enjoyed the stream today. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Yo, Captain Manhattan. I'm sorry, I missed your follow there. Sorry about that. But thanks to everyone who followed today. Thanks to everyone who subscribed, man. I appreciate all your support so much. I just do these streams for fun, but you know, all the support you guys give me has been amazing, especially this year when during COVID, man, I was forced not to work from like March until August. It was brutal. So all that helped a lot, man. So I really appreciate everyone's support. It was super, super kind. But the most important thing is that everyone just comes here every week and hangs out, because like I say, all these streams are just hanging out with my friends, and I'm so lucky to have so many amazing people show up every Sunday. And I'm so thankful and grateful for all of you who just show up and hang out. That's the most important thing. I love it. And Megan Neck, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks, everyone. Cringe Forest, thank you for hanging out. It's a pleasure to see you too. H0ffman, thanks, brother. That was incredible, man. Be good. We'll be in touch offline. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Take care. Amiga forever. Later. Wow, that was pretty crazy, everyone, right? H0ffman, legend, that was amazing. And freaking Ferris coming into the stream there, that was great. Oh, you're awesome, Amiga Cammy. Thank you so much, Brother Bill. You rock, dude. Thank you, Brother Bill. I never mixed vinyl on my stream before, so I kind of kept it on the low side, you know, except for when we actually played the songs, because I wanted to make sure it didn't interfere, you know, with H0ffman's sounds. Oram, you rock, dude. McLegend, thank you so much. Lord Squeak, cheers to you. Thanks, Any7. It's really nice to meet you, Any7. And you too, Black Max DK, thank you. Sorry if I missed anyone's questions. I think I got them all. I think with the help of Brother Bill, I got them all. Yeah, FX Node, Amiga Forever, exactly. Steps, it is time to jump into the hot tub. You know it. Black Max DK, that is, it's a Technics SP15. I got a shot of it here. It's my Technics Quartz SP15. It's a turntable that was rescued from the garbage, actually. Westchester Community College, my local college, was throwing them out, and my dad grabs 2 of them before they got thrown into the garbage. So yeah, man, it's a super, super rad turntable. I'm super lucky to have. You're welcome, Ackerman. Thanks, DJ H0ffman. I'm glad you like it. I love it. It's a great deck. I love it. I love it, and it's got a lot of good history. Being at the college, spinning so many amazing records for many years at my local community college's radio station, which my dad was the manager of. So that was rad. A lot of history on that table. Awesome, guys. All right, we are gonna take it to the hot tub, and we're gonna raid another great person, another person who is a regular on my regular viewer of my streams, and one of the nicest dudes around. His name is Mr. Cola. And I was supposed to hang out with Mr. Cola like 2 weeks ago. I was supposed to go to Chicago, but then there was like this whole quarantine issue, and I was all sad I wasn't gonna get to see Mr. Cola. So we're gonna raid Mr. Cola, give him a warm welcome. He's He's one of the best dudes ever. I love Mr. Cola. He's a great dude, and I'll see you all next Sunday. I've got some really great stuff lined up for next Sunday. I'm not sure exactly what's gonna fall into place, but I promise it'll be a lot of fun. And thanks again, everyone, for watching today. We're gonna raid Mr. Cola. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And have a great week, everyone. See you next Sunday, and Amiga forever. Take it to the hot tub. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Shine